And I guess Savy can jump on. Jess! Wait, are we like actually live?
It says live.
Okay, all right. Let's see.
At least that's what I see.
All right, yeah, it is. I just
and it's getting darker and darker.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you, Deanna. Yeah, it's fine. Like my lighting is pretty terrible right now.
I'm in my studio. I have my like really bright studio lights, so I'm like trying to not look at them directly because otherwise it's very blinding.
All right. I guess we can wait for a few more people to hop on. I don't know where everybody else is.
Well, we're here, so the party has started.
Yes.
The two birthday girls are here, so
exactly. It's the two of us. It's funny though that like we have the same birthday because I think I've only ever met one other person that had the same birthday, and her and I are exactly a year apart. So
it's also funny because like you were one of the first anti-MLMers I started watching like way before I started my channel. So like the fact that we have the same birthday is it's really funny.
And you know what makes it even funnier is that Genetically Modified Skeptic was one of the first anti-MLM videos that I watched.
Yeah, that's like the whole circle there is kind of funny.
Yeah. Hi, Savy.
Hey, friends.
All right.
Hey.
Let me say hi.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Oh, Jess, I know exactly where you're sitting. Well, yes, because you sat at this table once. Hello, Aurora. I know who you are. Thank you, Astrid. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Danielle. Cheyenne, Melissa. P.S. You don't look a day over 20. Well, thank you. Hello, Joseph. Oh, Naisa, you're under. Okay. Hi, Naisa. She's one of my mods from my anti-MLM group. So Savy, I was saying this before, Amanda's going to be a little late because she is on her way back from work. So I guess we could just kind of, before Amanda gets here, if we want to just go this way, clockwise. Yeah. And introduce yourselves.
Awesome.
So go ahead, Alanda, you're first.
Okay. I'm Alanda. My channel is The Recovering Hunbot, and I do anti-MLM content. And I kind of do some true crime, and it's kind of like this weird crossover of what I'm doing right now. So that's, And Monica is, like my YouTube bestie.
Yeah, we talk like every day. Actually, your Notorious series is in the works. You already have one video out, right? And then...
Yep. Okay. Yep. And the second one comes out tomorrow. And just to give everybody kind of like an overview what it is, you may or may not be familiar with OneCoin, One Life, OneCoin. It is a cryptocurrency MLM. And the person who created it disappeared in 2017. So there's stuff there's money laundering. Taylor, this is what I was telling you about how it is.
I want to hear more.
There's murder. There's political connections. There's sex trafficking. I mean, there's so much. And what I'm doing is I'm taking all the people that were at the top and I'm going through their story, which nothing is written somewhere where you can just there's a story and I'm going to tell it now. It's like piecing it together. It's a Rubik's Cube trying to how do I match this up? So I'm just going through each one of them, and I'm going to bring it up to Ruja Ignatova. She's the one who created OneCoin and went missing. If you have not listened to the podcast called The Missing Crypto Queen, I suggest it. My first video was about Igor Alberts, and he's in The Missing Crypto Queen, episode 5. But of course, I look at him from a completely different, point of view. So that's what I'm doing with my Notorious series.
That's fascinating.
Sorry for the barks. They have the trucks coming by with the mosquito repellent or whatever, so they're kind of going nuts. So I'm so sorry if that scared anybody. But yeah, okay, Taylor, if you want to go next and introduce yourself.
So I am Taylor. My channel is The Anti-Bot on YouTube. I also do anti-MLM content. I also do some just general business scams, talking about different scammers. I had a video about Dan Locke. I'm sure that if anyone's ever like Googled, how to be wealthy, you've probably run into Dan Locke. And yeah, I'm almost to 10,000 subscribers. I'm like 45, I think, away. So I'm excited for that.
Close.
I know, I'm so close. I'm hoping that maybe I'll hit it by the end of this week, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm so sorry. I have to keep like muting my mic. I'm so sorry. But yay, that's so exciting. All right, Savy, you're up.
Hello, I'm Savy from the channel Savy Writes Books. My channel is a combination. Well, it's a small business related channel because I'm a small business owner and I'm an author. So I do videos about author stuff, about book stuff. And then with the business side, I do a lot of anti-MLM videos like everyone else here does. So I do a lot of that. I do a lot of looking into scams, looking into the kind of structures that are trying to take advantage of small business owners and people's desire to be entrepreneurial, or scams that are taking advantage of people who want to break into a creative field and that kind of thing. So I kind of look at business and scam stuff from an author perspective and books and writing from a business perspective. And I'm also close to 10,000. I'm not as close as Taylor is, but I
don't know, you might hit it before me.
No, dude, I have like 600 more to go. So
I don't know, but your channel's been exploding though. So I don't know.
Once in a while it explodes and then it doesn't, but I'm hoping it does again soon, because this week I have 2 videos coming out that I'm hoping I have one that is going to be about Rachel and Dave Hollis and the Hollis Company getting sued for trademark infringement, which, like, y'all, you saw my Girl Stop Plagiarizing merch. We knew this was going to happen. So I did a video about this, but I wanted to talk to a real lawyer for it. So I'm just waiting for some input from my lawyer friend to get that out. And then I reviewed, Kat Benson sent me Eric Worre's book, GoPro. Because
I have it on my bookshelf.
This book is so bad, y'all. Okay, so if that's a thing I've been doing a lot lately, because I started out purely as a book review channel, but now that I'm focusing more on business stuff, I want to do like bad business book reviews. So I've reviewed like all of Rachel Hollis's books. I've reviewed like Grant Cardone's books. I'm now reviewing this one. I'm probably going to do some reviews of I'll read like Tony Robbins or something at some point. But if anyone has old books from your time in an MLM that you were told to read and you want someone to trash them on YouTube, feel free. Reach out, send them to me. I will read them, because wow, this book was offensive. So that's coming Friday.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
We love the pubs. Savy, I wanted to tell you, as I was doing some research today, I came across a Grant Cardone connection to OneCoin. And I'm like,
oh my God. Of course.
I asked Monica, I'm like, Savy's done with Grant, right? So I'm going to make sure to mention you, because I'm like, oh, there's just more stuff. There's always more.
I need to make more videos on him at this point, because he's just a lot, and he's just wild, dude. But like now his company's struggling in the pandemic, and he's been all like, invest in my company. But now he's one of those people that's like, we need to open everything back up. I'm going to go bankrupt. And it's like, okay, but dude, like, sorry, people are they're like dying right now. This is not a good time for anyone's business, yours included. Shouldn't have acted like you had all the answers.
10x.
Can't 10x everything. Not right now.
But now is the perfect time to join any kind of network marketing company, and they all praise that.
Oh my God.
It's terrible. All right, let me quick look at Sarah. So Sarah, I actually know her. She's friends with me and Joe. Hello, thank you for the birthday wishes.
Yay.
And I don't know how to say Tanya. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, because I'm just not sure with the J. I would pronounce it Tanya. Jen, thank you. Suzanne, thank you. Joseph, the lighting does make Alanda's eyes pop. It does, right? Every single
they look so blue.
Yeah, they look so blue. Cartridge Gamer, thank you. Oh, Donna Joe, you're in here. Hold on. I wonder if I can. No, I can't do it through here. All right, never mind. I was gonna make her a moderator for the chat, but I think we'll be fine. Oh my gosh, where am I? Ray Blair. I'm an RN and I have started writing YouTube episodes. Also a small business owner. Oh my gosh, keeps popping up. Oh, we have Margaret in the house.
Yay,
Hot
Margaret's
girl. We have Kat Benson here too.
Yay!
All right, Jolene, thank you. And Alexandria, hello, ladies. Oh, by the way, anyone who's in the chat, it's not just my birthday. It's also Taylor, aka the Antibot. It's her birthday today too.
I'm so excited that you guys have the same birthday.
I know.
Yeah, it's just I'm older, but that's okay. Oh, Kat, happy birthday. This is for a drink or dessert on me. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I have my wine here and I have ice cream cake in the freezer, but I didn't want to eat it yet.
I would love to go start drinking, but I can't because my stupid ass slept until noon today. So I'm not done with my work for my job for tomorrow, as is what happens sometimes. So I'm over here, probably going to have coffee.
Oh, Joe's in here.
Joe.
Hello, Joseph. My fiance, in case anybody doesn't know, that's my fiance. He's in here. So many birthdays. Christina Poe, happy birthday, Taylor.
Thank you.
Drew. And then we have a hello, Margaret. Oh, Amanda, I'm driving home now. See you soon. Okay. All right. So we will see you in a little bit.
Yay.
I guess, let me see. Does anybody in the chat have any questions for anyone that is currently on the stream besides me? I mean, you can ask me questions too, but since I have so many different creators here, if you guys have any questions, you can ask anything.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out. And
Anti-MLM sisterhood.
Yeah, the real sisterhood.
Yeah.
Not the MLM. Because the MLM sisterhood is...
Oh, I have a quick announcement. This involves for anybody who's interested, because I know a lot of us here are small business owners. I am working on putting together a virtual small business shopping fair for the end of November, because last year, before the pandemic, craft fairs and holiday fairs and conventions was where I made almost all my money selling things for my business. So those are no more. So I wanted to create a virtual fair. So if anyone's interested in participating with that, please email or send me a message or whatever, because I want to put together a list of emails of people who would be interested in selling something. I think I'm going to have like a Saturday where I run it from like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and people can come on a live stream with me for the whole time if they want, or they can have like a dedicated hour that they come on and do a Q&A about their products, and we'll have links where people can go buy them. And then I might also create like a simple Wix or WordPress kind of website that links to everyone's stuff and promote it throughout the months of November and December. So if that's something you guys are interested in doing, like making our own little small business shopping expo event, then hit me up, because I really want to make it happen and also kind of use it to celebrate my like newest book launch for my business. So we'll make it a lot of fun. We'll make Christmas happen in the pandemic.
Well, you already know that I'm all for it, because we already talked about it. So I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, so Monica will be there selling her stuff. It'll be great.
I will definitely be there. By the way, in case anyone missed it, Joe, he said, I'm joining Lularoe. Okay, thanks, bye.
Oh, wait, this is so funny. Okay, I'm actually wearing Lularoe leggings right now. Because I have 2 pairs of Lularoe leggings that I got for free. Obviously, I would never spend money on them. But yeah, last year I was at a craft fair, and I get so mad. At least you guys know I get so mad at craft fairs when there are MLMs there. This one said there weren't going to be any, but I guess whoever organized it didn't realize that Lularoe was an MLM, because Lularoe was there. The lady was so sweet, so I would never talk bad about her. She was a very kind person. I hope she's gotten out of that company by now. But she was like, she and I just got to know each other, so she just offered me a free pair of leggings. So I was like, sure, I guess, because I didn't want to be. I tried. So she just really wanted me to have free leggings. So now I'm wearing them. So I don't know.
I have a pair of Lularoe leggings too that I got as a gift.
Yeah.
And it was a really thoughtful gift too because they had little airplanes on them, and I used to work in aviation.
We have
so
like, they have little cassette tapes.
Okay, those are actually kind of cute.
That's
They're really cute. Yeah, so I was like, man, this like it is. I was like, this lady, I feel bad for her being in this company, but also it's like I don't want to say that to her face while we're just trying to get along at this craft fair. And then she was nice, and then like I gave her a book for her kids, and I was like, we're all people at the end of the day, but also please get out of Lularoe because you seem nice, and I don't want it to ruin your life.
Well, hopefully she got out by now.
No, I don't know.
hope so. I'll have to. Yeah, I hope, because she was spending so many hours every day on it, and like in between sales, while as people were like, when there were lower times of traffic at the craft fair, she would like get on Facebook and start DMing people about it. And I was like, this doesn't seem good. But I was like, at the time, this was like over a year ago. I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't want to say that to your face. I don't know how to talk to someone about this. And also, like, I'm a stranger you just met. But then she gave me some free leggings, and she didn't let me turn them down. So I was like, man, I don't know what to do. But on the bright side, I got some free leggings.
That's good.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who is saying happy birthday to both myself and Taylor. The first question from Joseph, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know, Joseph, he knows me and Alanda, not my fiance Joe, Joseph, who's in the chat. What does monkey poop coffee taste like? Anyone want to answer that?
I will answer that because I've actually had monkey poop coffee.
Wait, is that a real thing?
It's a real thing. Yeah, there's this animal that's in Southeast Asia called a civet, I think is how you pronounce it, and they ingest coffee beans and then they poop them out, and it makes it taste. I mean, obviously they wash the beans and everything, and it's supposed to enhance the taste. And I grew up in Southeast Asia, so I used to drink like that type of coffee all the time, but I don't drink it anymore because I learned that it's actually really cruel to the civets. So, but it does taste really good. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Interesting. I had never heard of this.
Yeah,
that's wild.
It's very, very expensive too. Like I could get it for pretty cheap because I lived in Asia, but like if you try to get it here in the US, it's pretty expensive.
I would imagine that would be really expensive to get.
Yeah, it's specialty. So
let's see what the next
sounds
questions
awful.
are. I'm so sorry. I'm like getting lost in this chat. Did Tony Robbins get the invite for tonight? Would love some of his guru chat on Columbus Day. Yeah, Tony Robbins is
I think we need to do more videos on Tony Robbins, especially because lately, I don't know if you guys have seen, lately a lot of videos have been coming out about Tony Robbins and his friend Dean Graziosi, I think is his name. Yeah, and they've been scamming together, been a pair of scamming bros all throughout the year. So at least more people are calling him out now.
Yeah, he's a piece of work. Oh, and by the way, in case anyone did not see, Savy and I actually did a collab about Tony Robbins, and Savy's half was about the Netflix documentary. It was very painful for us to watch.
Oh God, it was so bad.
So if you want to go give that a view.
Yeah, so the one on Monica's channel, we reacted to Tony Robbins talking about the Me Too movement, which it's bad. It's bad. Tony Robbins he's not a respectful guy.
Nope.
And then on my channel, we watch his Netflix documentary, and it's also really bad. He roars like a lion at one point.
What?
This guy stands up and he's like, Tony, my problem is that my wife and I haven't been having sex enough. And Tony tells him about a sheep and a lion, and how one day the sheep learned to stop saying bah, and how he learned to roar, and then he made the man roar for him. And that's how he solved his marital problems.
Oh my god.
It was so funny though. Like you have to watch it to actually see it because like
Oh my god.
the explanation just doesn't isn't one of the times that he was talking about that, isn't that the screenshot that we used for the thumbnail?
Yes, I think it was when he was like doing his roar movement with his mouth. He's like the thumbnail.
It was so funny though.
Oh
It
my
was so
God.
funny. Okay, let's see what else. So we have, all right. Well, we do have a couple of people asking about what's going on in the anti-MLM community right now. I don't know if anybody wants to comment on it. What I will say is that I'm still anti-MLM. I will always be anti-MLM. And I don't know if it's because I was wronged by an MLM, but I also, the business model, it's not for me. So, but I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything because
I mean,
kind of...
I just saw like, okay, apparently I saw there was some kind of conflict in our community like recently. I just saw this. Nothing, to my knowledge, none of us had anything to do with any of this. So it was completely different people that like, I don't even know that well. But like, I don't really understand what happened with any of them. And I'm like, I probably won't because I don't really talk to them that much. So I'm just like, yes, I am anti-MLM because I'm a small business owner. Running a small business is a completely different structure and model to an MLM. I don't like the way that it preys on entrepreneurial people to try to rope them into something. I will say that I will always have sympathy for people who have gotten roped into an MLM at a low point in their life and are trying to get out. But yeah, I cannot see myself ever supporting any of these businesses unless they drastically change their model. Like if I don't know, like if I don't know, Pampered Chef comes out one day and is like, hey, we're going to get rid of all the uplines and downlines and we're just going to sell our products in a kitchen store. Then I'd be like, okay, but then it really wouldn't be an MLM anymore. Anything with upline and downline structure, I have no interest in ever supporting in any way. So
yeah, I mean that's what I would say too, unless they completely change their model, and in that case they would not be MLM anymore. Then I'm firmly anti-MLM. I completely support the anti-MLM movement, and I think moving forward, I want us all to be supportive of each other, and I think that's exactly what we're doing. You know, with this live stream, it's just a group of anti-MLMers supporting each other. So
yeah, I'm good. I have so many more anti-MLM videos I'm in the process of working on. So I didn't even realize there was any kind of problem until something popped up like on the subreddit and I was like, what? And then I was like, well, okay, I've got like 20 more videos I'm working on. So you guys do your thing. I'm going to keep working on my videos.
For me, I'm either because I'm working full time from home and I have been since 2019 before COVID. And I'm like doing research for my stuff. It's like, that's anything else. It's like, I don't have time for, you know? And I am anti-MLM. I think like Monica, because, you know, I was wronged by an MLM. I didn't know what it was when I got involved. I was completely clueless, completely vulnerable. But once I like woke up, that's when I'm like, I've got to start looking at this more. And for me, I feel like I've gone through stages because I started with like doing the r/anti-MLM and kind of, you know, like, because I was like, oh my God, that's what people called me, a hunbot. Holy crap. I had no idea.
I think that's how I found your channel the first time. Like before I knew Monica and before I knew you guys were friends, like I found the Recovering Hunbot was one of the first anti-MLM channels I found because you were like, I originally found like people who would read subreddit comments because I like to fall asleep to those. So I would listen to like Q-Star and like Illuminati and people like that. And then you came up in my suggested after I'd been listening to r/anti-MLM. And I was like, awesome, new person to follow. And then I found out that you and Monica were friends. And I was like, oh, great. We're all going to be so tight. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, Alanda was actually... after I made my first video, because I've told this story so many times on this channel, but I only wanted to put out one video that was my story to kind of like add to the conversation, but I never planned on making any other videos until people started asking me to. And then Alanda was actually the first one to reach out to me and basically just like welcomed me into the community, which is why so many people call her the mom of,
oh, definitely. I could see that.
Yeah, because it was, it kind of made me feel like, oh, this is like women empowering women. And I know that this is like super corny, but I always say real queens fix each other's crowns, because I saw like a little thing on Pinterest once. So
that's cute. I am fine with cheesy slogans. I'll say something that like, I know we make fun of like boss babes and stuff. I wish that MLMs had not co-opted that language, because I have a little boss bitch embroidery thing on my wall that I had when I was at a craft fair selling. Like, another real small business owner was there, and she did her own like embroidery, and she would do like cute, classy little embroidery things that said vulgar things on them. It was adorable. And this one said, she had one that said boss bitch. I'm like, that's me. I'm a boss bitch. And then like MLM started being like, I'm a boss babe. I'm whatever. I'm like, stop. No, I wanted to get to enjoy those cheesy slogans, and I
cannot see those slogans without thinking MLM.
Like, I know.
Today, Drew and I went to At Home, and there was like this little sign that said "Girl Boss" on it, and I was like, my mind immediately went to MLM because they're always using that, and yeah, it's been completely ruined.
There's so many things I think that have been ruined.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, dude. A lot of MLMers on Instagram will use hashtag Savvy Business Owner in their posts. So I was you know what? I'm going to title my book that, and I'm going to steal the hashtag.
back.
I'm glad you claimed that back for yourself.
But I also like MLMs are stealing my name all the time. It's like a constant thing. I made a whole video on
this. I watched that video.
MLMs are constantly stealing my name. Why are you doing this?
I watched that video.
No, dude, Monica was the first person to welcome me into the anti-MLM community, though, because I, started as a book review channel and a channel where I talk about my own books that I write. And then I was making anti-MLM videos when I was getting fed up with people at craft fairs taking up spaces from actual artists and actual creators. And then Monica, I guess it recommended a video to you, and then you commented on one of my videos, and I was like, oh my God, I watch your videos. This is amazing. I feel like you're famous. And then I joined her Facebook group, and I'm like, now we're friends. This is great.
Yeah, I remember I saw that video, and I was like, and I was thinking in my head, like, oh, YouTube actually did something good and recommended me a video that I actually want to watch. So, and then I started watching your videos, and then I came across the Rachel Hollis one of you in the kitchen making cupcakes. And I was like, okay, this person is my kind of person. I was like, these are my people.
Yes.
But, okay, let's see. Next question. Aurora, how are you guys handling 2020? Who wants to start?
I'll start. Day by day. I was content to be holed up in our old apartment, and then the building sold, and so we were forced to move. And you good people, most of you probably don't know, I'm high risk because I'm a cancer survivor. So the last thing my happy ass wants to do is like go out places and be in places where other people had been. But we had to. So now we're in a new place, and it's a good place. And, I will say I'm fortunate the company I work for has been very supportive for everybody in the organization and everything, and have addressed things, I think, the best way that you can, and everybody's working from home. But I think it's really a day-by-day thing. And one of the things that I always try to remember is that we all need to be a little bit kinder to each other, because we're all jacked in the head right now, even if we admit it. It's like we're all freaked out by all of this. And I think that sometimes that comes out in ways that we don't know, or don't know that's where it's coming from, and behave in ways that I'll just say could be less becoming, so to speak, And so I try to always keep in mind that everybody is going through something personally through all of this. And you don't know really what their struggles are through it. And so I just try to encourage people to be kinder and gentler to each other and to themselves.
Yeah, I've seen a massive spike in ever since the pandemic really hit. I've seen a spike in really bad, nasty comments. Like I have to block a lot of words because, and I mean, some still, you know, make it. I mean, I just had another comment today. Alanda and I talked about it earlier, and I noticed too, because the Chris Watts thing that came out on Netflix, my Watts video is being pushed. And there are just a lot of people that have no respect whatsoever. So I'm like this close to just disabling comments completely. But yeah, I've seen a massive spike in trolling comments, just rude people in general. But as far as 2020 as a business owner, it's definitely different from last year. And I think Savy could probably attest to that too.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the way I'm taking 2020 is, well, the main way is doing Twitter in moderation. I took like 3 weeks off of Twitter. Twitter is awful. And I will say, book Twitter is the worst. Like I was in political Twitter for a while, which is bad, but book Twitter is like so bad. So I'm like, I need to get away. Like book Twitter is the worst of all of them.
I'm surprised book Twitter is worse than political Twitter.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, because it's like, it's a lot of people who are very attached to books and the themes that they represent and the meanings and the implications of those themes. And just a lot of people are just very invested. And it's like, that's great. But like, I'm invested in books too. As you guys know, I have a whole business that makes books, but I cannot handle book Twitter. Seasonal decorations. That's the other thing. I started getting into like buying little handmade pumpkins off of Etsy and like things like that, and like making soup. So like know that the seasons are still happening. And then so I had the opposite response of Monica to rude comments, where I weirdly enjoy them, but I also like I try to get that person to engage more, which I know is generally the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Like, for example, I recently got this comment on the video that I posted about Grant Cardone speaking at the World Financial Group Conference. I had someone in the comments being like, I hate how content creators like you are pushing this awful message that World Financial Group can't be life-changing because it's made my whole life so much better. And I wish that you wouldn't be so one-sided. And I was like, fair enough. Come on my channel and we'll debate and we'll make this happen. You can present your topics to me. And then whenever that happens, they just don't respond. Or I'll have people respond to me like 1,000,000 times just in like 100 different comments telling me why all my opinions are wrong. And they'll be like, hey, you've commented like 1,000,000 times. Let's come on my channel and we'll discuss our differences. And then we'll talk over email and they'll just never do it. It's like, guys, I'm giving you an opportunity to say your piece and then you don't. So I get frustrated, but that's also because I'm just like addicted to attention. But that's a whole different topic.
I think they're probably just surprised you're coming at like your commenting.
I think most people are used to just having their comments being deleted or people like being hateful back or something like that. So the fact that you're coming at it neutrally, I think maybe surprises them. I still get so many nasty comments on I did a video about J.K. Rowling and how she said a lot of things that were really mean to trans women, and I still have so many people on that video just being so nasty. Oh my God, your dog is so cute.
Hi, Sadie.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
The cutest dog ever.
I didn't want to interrupt, but
no, she's so cute.
Puppy intermission.
Chalupa was on before too. I don't know if you guys saw, but Alanda had Chalupa on before too.
I saw her.
Yeah, Sadie is a little teddy bear.
Yeah,
she's adorable.
So, hi everybody.
Hey Amanda.
Hi. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
No. Oh, sure.
Okay.
I'm Amanda. Everyone called me Amanda MC because my last name's McQueen, but I could be a rapper, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have skills like that. Sorry I'm late. Happy birthday, Monica. Happy birthday, Taylor.
Thank you.
I had to pour my wine, otherwise I would have been on like maybe a few minutes earlier.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, tell us about your channel real quick.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my coffee.
Okay.
She's like, I still need to wake up. I have the YouTube channel Amanda MC. It started out as, I originally created it because I wanted to kind of like log my bikini competition journey, but I never did anything with that. And just been watching anti-MLM content since probably 2018, and came across quite a few channels that I was listening to ladies talk about as I was like getting out of my scrubs and stuff. And one of those channels was Monica. The other one was the Alanda over there with Recovering Humbot, and met everyone else through the community. So
yeah.
And thankfully, Monica is so wonderful to her subscribers and viewers and content creators, and has been very sweet to me and inclusive. And I don't know, I feel like we're friends. And I like to support the small businesses, so definitely supported PHO3NIX Health, and also supported Savy with her little book and puppy bear bundle. So
yeah. Well, thanks for coming and chatting with us and hanging out, because I know that you had work and everything. So thank you.
yeah. Sorry, I was late. I live on the West Coast, so it's 5 o'clock here. So.
Yeah, no. You're fine. You're totally fine. I kind of, when you told me, I was like, yeah, no problem. It's not a big deal. I did just want to say real quick, because I didn't notice this until now. MK, thank you for becoming a channel member. I saw it pop up. I have like my phone, and then I have the chat here, and it's just like, it keeps refreshing. So I'm so sorry that I didn't say that before. And then I guess, hold on, where was the next question? Because I keep losing my spot. Jolene said, hi, Alanda. So happy to see Chalupa too. Okay, let's see.
Maybe next time we can do a virtual doggy.
Oh my God,
yes, that should definitely be a thing.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, Joseph, thank you so much. Happy birthday, Monica and Taylor, my 5 anti-MLMers, and have to go to bed. Have a good night. Oh, have a good night. Joseph. Thank you.
Bye, Joseph. He's such a sweetie.
I know, he is. He actually purchased from PHO3NIX Health as well. All right, let me see. For Halloween movies, do you prefer suspense or gory or lighthearted? I like anything paranormal. I like to call myself a basic stupid bitch. So basically anything Halloween related, I'm all for. But I will say, my notifications, I mean, Alanda hears it all the time whenever we send voice clips to each other. I'm so sorry about that. But my notifications is the one noise from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and my ringtone right now is the Halloween theme song, you know, Michael Myers, because it's spooky season, so I changed that. But as a kid, I was terrified of Michael Myers, but surprisingly, that is my favorite Halloween movie is Halloween, that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But when it comes to other stuff, yeah, really anything I'll watch. Like I just watched The Haunting of, what was it, Bly Manor or whatever. That was pretty good. It wasn't as scary as the last season last year. It was more of I would say it was more of like a dark love romance story in a sense.
Wait, is that a movie or a TV show?
It's on Netflix. It's a series they had last year. I think it was what was it last year? It was
Was it Hill House?
Yeah, that was the one from last year. Yeah.
Oh,
and then,
okay. I didn't realize that was like the second season. I thought that was like a movie or something. I'll have to check that one out.
Except they did it differently. So this year it's called the Haunting of Bly Manor, I think is what it's called. So it's still kind of the same, but a little different. But I thought it wasn't as scary as the first one. I was hoping to like really scare myself because I love being scared around Halloween.
Same.
Like I will purposely watch something to scare the shit out of me. So yeah, what about you guys? Do you guys want to answer this? What are your favorite Halloween?
I love paranormal stuff like you, but I'm kind of like desensitized, I think, at this point, because it really takes something super scary for me to actually be scared, because I've been watching horror movies since I was like in middle school. So, but anything paranormal or like demonic stuff, I like a lot. Yeah.
Do you have any ghost stories?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any ghost stories?
I don't know if I know any off the top of my head.
I've experienced some weird things, so that's why I always ask.
Oh, like personal ghost stories?
Yeah.
I have a lot of things that, like, when I was younger, I thought it was a ghost, but now as I'm more like of a skeptical person, I'm kind of like, nah, that was just like my mind playing tricks on me, like just seeing shadows and that kind of thing. But you have one?
I have a lot. The one I actually kind of touched base on in my one video. It was my Greystone video. So it was basically, oh, where'd Alanda go?
I'm getting another drink.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because this story doesn't matter to Alanda. She knows this story. But yeah, it was in my Greystone video, and it's a psychiatric hospital, and we have since down. But Joe, I don't know if he's still on this stream. I don't know if he's on his way home or not yet. But we actually went there, and there was. Let's just put it this way. Something followed me home.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of, I think actually Jess and Aurora, they're on this chat. They know about that story too. Yeah, it was, I was a lot younger, and like I've had things happen to me over the years, but that was probably the scariest thing. That it was just like, I don't know. I don't want people to think I'm like weird, but let's just say that dangerous things started happening to me after I left there.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah. Anybody else have any?
I don't have ghost stories, but in terms of Halloween movies, most people know that I'm like really into like shitty B movies from the 80s and the 90s. And so at Halloween, there's just so much, there's so many weird, like badly made movies that you can find that have been re-released on DVD or things like that. Or sometimes they get uploaded to Amazon Prime. But I recently watched a movie called Spookies, and it was like, you know, one of those like, oh, a bunch of people from a party go to a haunted house, and then something or the house ends up being haunted and everyone gets murdered. But there was just like these really weird effects. This one guy like ran through a door. I recently, and then last week, that's like the thing I've talked about this on my channel, that like Tyler and I every Friday for our date night, we get food from a restaurant nearby, and we put on some shitty movie from like the 80s that's usually like a horror, sci-fi, or martial arts, or other just bad movie. We just find some bad movie to put on. So last week we watched this for Halloween season. We watched this movie called Kathy's Curse from 1976, and it was so weird. It was like this little girl got possessed with her dad's sister had died in a car accident, and she had used to live in that house. So she like possessed this little girl's body and made her go around murdering everyone. It was wild. So it's awesome. And the little girl just like shouts obscene things every time. And it's great. I would highly recommend that movie. Yeah.
Is it bad that as much as I love the remakes of like Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because we have come a far way with special effects, I don't know why, but I really, really love the originals. I don't know why. Like I can watch them over and over and over again, even though they're terrible when it comes to the quality, but I don't know. There's something about them that I just really...
They're original.
I also just like the way that effects were done in movies. Like I feel like CGI can be used right in certain contexts, but like people rely on it too much, I think, to an extent. So you don't get as many cool things. Like if you look at like, you know, original Star Wars, you get people like crafting puppets or people that used to like build little miniatures before you could just render it on the computer. And it's just cool to like examine, oh, cool, someone built this thing. Like that's cool. So I have an appreciation for that.
Yeah. What about Alanda and Amanda?
When I was a kid, I was always watching like the scary movies. I had my dad and stepmom at the time would always like VHS record like TNT and TBS and all of these like horror movie channels, especially like this month, they'd be like going on 24/7. And then so we just had this huge library of like crappy horror movies, but then like some like good ones too. So I felt like I was pretty desensitized as a kid, but then as I got older in my 20s, I don't know what it was, but I was like, I watched The Ring, and then I watched, I think, like Saw or something. Yeah. And I was dating this guy who never watched horror movies. He could not. And I was dating him. So then, yeah, so then because he wasn't going to the theaters to watch the latest and greatest film, I wasn't. And then something after that happened where now if I watch something, I'm just like, I can't. It's like just the anticipation of like what's going to happen. It literally wants I think I'm going to have a heart attack of just having too high of a blood pressure. So like my tolerance for it has definitely like decreased. I just can't do it. But I have a really scary like not Halloween, but like kind of the spirit story. I don't know if you guys are interested. Okay. It actually happened pretty recently.
No.
Not recently, like this
in your
year.
house?
No.
Okay.
But it happened at the River House. Okay, so no one really knows this because you guys don't know me. But I was living at a house down by the river. It's about like 20 minutes west of where I currently live, and it was like a 2-story bungalow. I mean, these are homes that were basically built from like people from like the Bay Area. For those of you who don't know, that I live in Northern California. And so people from the city would always come up to this like little town that's by the river and have like these summer bungalows. So all these houses are really not built for like year-round living. They were originally built for like just being a summer house. But as the community got larger and larger, people like live there year-round now. So I'm renting this house, and the master bedroom is right above the kitchen, and the kitchen, freezing cold. The kitchen there's like no insulation in this house. It's like heated by a wood stove. We put a curtain that divides like the kitchen to the living room, and the stairs is off the living room that goes up just so that all of the freezing cold air from the kitchen doesn't get any of the heat. Just to maximize the heat to the rest of the house. So anyways, it's wintertime, we're sleeping, the kitchen's freezing. I'm laying on my stomach and I'm having this dream about traveling up a mountain. I don't know where I was going, but I was going towards a mountain or going up a mountain, and there was this school bus of children in front of me that so sorry for people who have issues with children having issues, but it toppled over, and all of these children were fatally injured, and I was like devastated. I saw the whole thing, so it was like haunting me in my dreams. But I'm like having a dream that I'm having this situation. It's like a third party situation, and then in my dream, I'm in my house having a conversation with my spouse who's saying that he can see the dead children. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, I can see them. They're just running around. And I'm like, why? Why can you see them? I want to see them. And he's just like, well, I don't know why they're not showing to you. And so I was actually talking in my dream. I was just like, well, I want to see the children. If you're seeing the children, I want to see the children. And then all of a sudden my back and my stomach are just getting those tinglies. And it feels like I'm getting on fire. And then all of a sudden our smoke alarm from the kitchen goes off. It was insane. And I immediately woke up because like smoke alarm goes off, and then the dream's over. But that was creepy, huh?
That's so creepy.
Yeah. That's definitely creepy.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh my gosh. And I think I feel like I'm sensitive to that when I was a kid. And this was actually right after Halloween. When I was a child with my dad had a stepmom at the time, and we lived with her mom, like grandmother, and the whole family and everything. And it was a over 100-year-old house that they proclaimed was haunted. And I lived in this far back room on the second floor, and it was after Halloween. And so I had my plastic bag of candy and chocolates and stuff, and I had it under my bed. And I kept like hearing like the bag move like across from underneath my bed. I was like, what's going on. But it could have been like, actually, like Taylor said, it could have been like maybe the wind or something. I don't know. Trying to rationalize it as an adult.
Yeah, see, my problem is that like I don't think that there's any way to explain, like going back to like that psychiatric hospital, there's no way to explain what happened because I'll tell you a little bit about it. I try not to really think too much about it. Very few people know the full story, but I unconsciously, or what I guess it's unconsciously, took something from there, which is why I have a problem with dolls now.
Oh, wow.
And so that's how something followed me. But yeah, like I remember because Joe and I have like we've joked about it before, and we talked about how like that was kind of one of our first dates. This is like when we were much younger and we were like just friends because we friend zoned each other for like 10 years. And we went there together, and I had the doll with me, and he was like, "Where did you get that from?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Why did you take it?" I'm like, I couldn't tell you. So, and then yeah, a lot of really bad stuff started happening after that. So yeah, that was fun. Alanda, do you have any ghost stories?
Well, not a ghost story, but I will tell you one of my most embarrassing stories, and it's Beachbody related and kind of horror related at the same time.
Yeah, I think Beachbody's a horror story in itself. So,
okay, first of all, I love horror movies. My husband thinks I'm weird because I get relaxed watching horror movies and I just fall asleep. You know?
Yeah. Same.
Well, anyway, so when I was a Beachbody coach, I got certified in size and in country heat. And one of my favorite shows of all the favorite show is The Walking Dead. And I watch all the things The Walking Dead related. And so I was thinking, and a friend of mine knows Norman Reedus, and if you don't know who that is, he's the one that plays Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead.
I love Daryl.
We're gonna eat Halloween candy over here while we tell our scary stories.
Wait, do you have candy corn?
I don't. I have a Hershey
That's my
bar.
favorite.
I have a Kit Kat, and I have a Reese's cup.
Okay.
I have blueberries. I'm not as fun.
Also, my idea was this, since my friend knew Norman Reedus, I was like, oh, maybe, I was like, how cool would it be to film zombies doing like size or country heat? So I had this fantasy in my head of being on set at The Walking Dead and teaching them how to do this. That's how delusional I was.
That's really funny. Thank you, Cheyenne. And she says she has to go. Thank you though for the super chat. Yeah, I used to watch The Walking Dead, but then, and I know that you and I have spoken about this, Alanda, but after that episode, I was really upset when they killed off Glenn, and I hated Negan for it. I was I knew it was going to happen because it happened in the comics. So I knew it was going to happen, but I was still very upset about it. But then I couldn't watch after it was the next season, and Daryl was like in that shipping container, and they just kept playing that one song over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't do Walking Dead anymore. That was it for me.
Last night was, oh God, what season is it? 6 or 7 of Fear the Walking Dead. And it was a Morgan centered because there was a crossover. Morgan went to Fear the Walking Dead. To me, it was a phenomenal episode. I love Morgan. And I met Lenny James at a convention. Super, super sweet dude. And I don't know. I feel like I'm watching family. It's like, I've been watching it, and it helped me get through breast cancer. That's really something that I connected with going through breast cancer, is watching The Walking Dead. And I would just, lay there in horrible pain, watching this over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that, you have a different connection to it. So I think that for you, it's a little different. But have you ever gone to Atlanta? Because a lot of the things that they film, it's all like because I went to Atlanta last year. Yeah, it'll be a year in November. It'll be a year. And we actually went to a couple of different places where they did different, like Walking Dead. They filmed certain things.
No,
So
I have not, but they filmed Fear the Walking Dead in Austin. And Taylor, I don't know if have you ever been out to Wimberley?
No, I actually did not know that they filmed here in Austin at all.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It was not this season, but I want to say it was last season. They were in this Western town. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's where my husband goes for his, family reunions every year.
Oh.
And I actually did a post where I took like what the Western town looks like when you're there, like, on vacation versus how the, Fear the Walking Dead, what they made it look like. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And he watched that episode and he was just so thrilled to be able to point out all these things. And they were off of what is called Devil's Backbone, which is like if San Marcos, which is outside of Austin, and it's this windy road. And it was just like, it was really cool to watch it because I know that area of Texas. I'm in Houston, so you guys know that I'm in Texas. I'm a Texas girl.
Yeah. All right. Next question. I'm so sorry. We're so behind on questions in the chat. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just all of us. We all like to talk. So
chatty.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us too. So
yeah, exactly. Okay. So Cheryl Harris said, what is the process you go through to select a topic to deep dive into for videos? Who wants to start off with that?
I mean, I guess I'll go. For me, it's kind of just whatever like I'm thinking about at the time, or I get a lot of ideas from like things I'm reading. So yeah, if I tend to like do things that aren't like super like happening right now, but it might just be something like a topic that I'm particularly interested in, because if it's not something that I'm interested in and I'm just doing it because it's relevant right now, like my heart's not going to be into it and it's not going to be that good of a video. So a lot of it is just from things I read.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, Taylor, she helped Drew from Genetically Modified Skeptic because they are very close.
Yeah, very close. I like that way of saying it.
She might have a little bit of a crush on him. I love when you say that in your videos. But yeah, so she was the one that was helping him with a lot of the research. And I remember when you guys came out with the Q&A last year and you announced that you were making your own channel, I'm like, yes.
It was long overdue because I'm actually, my next video is going to be kind of my personal story of how I became anti-MLM and how I define anti-MLM and like my reasons for doing it. But I actually like the first video that I helped Drew research was like when he first started his channel, when he had like maybe 20,000 subscribers. So yeah, I've been like kind of in the like behind the scenes in the anti-MLM community, I guess, for a while. So when I finally launched my channel, it was definitely like long overdue. And I'm excited. I'm very excited that I have my channel and that I get to meet all of you guys, because otherwise I wouldn't be friends with all of you.
I love that I found you and Drew separately.
Yeah,
you didn't realize you guys were married, and so I had been such a big fan of his for like 2 years, and I was like, oh, he's so cool. His videos are so great. And I remember he did this one video where he was like, my wife is going to be in this video with me. And I was like, that's cool. But I watched it falling asleep, so I never saw you. So it did.
I think that was like how MLMs target women.
Yeah, it was how MLMs target women. So I put a queue of videos on when I fall asleep. So I fell asleep, I think, before I saw you in that video. So
I actually like cringe at that video. That's my first time I was ever on camera.
I recognized you then when like I met you in Monica's Facebook group. And then I saw on Twitter that you guys were doing a video together. I was like, oh my God, 2 people I love are doing a video together. And then you were like, our whole life is a collab. And I was like, oh my God, they're married too. How can it get any better? And then I found out that you guys also had been watching my channel independently of me watching your channels. And those are the best moments where I'm like, oh my God, we're all destined to be friends in this world. This is so great.
Yeah, all of us like independently were watching each other's channels before we became friends. And I think that's really cool.
I love that so much.
I remember, Taylor, I don't know if you remember because I messaged you, but I remember when I saw Taylor's name pop up in like the member request for my Facebook group. And I saw it and I was like, oh, this is this is Taylor. I know who this person is. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like I fangirled a little bit. And then I've talked about this before too, but when I did my first ever live stream, Taylor and Genetically Modified Skeptic came on, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like there was a celebrity in the chat.
Yeah, I remember this stream because this is also, I still didn't know they were married then too. So I was like, wow, Monica's just got famous friends. What?
Yeah, we were trying to figure out like how to comment because I was like, I don't want her to feel like, pressured or anything since it's your first live stream. So we were trying to figure out what to say. Yeah. That wasn't too much pressure.
Oh, no, it wasn't too much pressure. It's just like, as soon as I saw it pop up, I was like, oh, there's a celebrity amongst us.
Oh, but yeah, when I first joined your group, I like totally did not see your message to me until like weeks later because like we weren't like friends yet on Facebook. And so it just like went in like a separate folder in my messenger. And then I felt so bad because I was like, oh no, I don't want her to think I don't like her or something. I just totally did not see the message.
Oh no, it's fine. I get that all the time and I don't realize because I'll get like the little ping that I have a message and then I'm like, but there's nothing in my inbox. And then I always forget to look in the message requests like that.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't think that like you didn't like me or something. But as soon as like I saw your name pop up, and then it's funny because as soon as I saw Roberta Blevins pop up too, I was like, oh, this is the person from the Vice documentary. And she
yeah. I talked to Roberta Blevins for the first time the other day. She's so cool. And I'm shouting her out in my video later this week because she gave me all the case files for Rachel Hollis's lawsuit. So she's a good person.
Yep. She is. I will definitely agree with that. I forget what question we were on. Oh, what is the process you go for?
For videos. We got off track because we're just all like talking about how much we love each other.
We're chatty Cathy's.
I'll answer that because this is literally, my Notorious series. Okay. So you know, my husband, he's a weirdo too. I say that with so much love. He keeps lists of like everything, like every movie he's ever watched, he has a rating for it. He's also a wine som, so he organizes like over 2,000 vintages in the, restaurant and everything. So that suits him very well. And so I just like one day, and I'm sitting here going, who was the person this year that's made the most money in multi-level marketing? And so I'm like, oh my God. And that's how I found Igor E. Alberts. And I'm like, and I started looking into him. I'm like, OneCoin. I'm like, oh my gosh, one of my subscribers sent me a video. And so then I started I will literally, I have to connect to the content. I have to like feel it in my heart some way because otherwise, like I made a Market America video and somebody had sent me stuff like months ago. And I'd never looked at it until it was like, it felt like it was the right time. I know that sounds so janky and silly, but I really do. I can't just be like, oh, do a deep dive and say Color Street. I'm like, okay. It's like, I've got to feel it. I've got to connect it. There's got to be something that is calling to me. I know that sounds so weird, but it's so true though.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm connecting so much with doing the Notorious series, because I'm telling you that this is like, a Lifetime movie, you would think, but all of these people are real and there's just so much. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fascinating. I just keep going and going and going and going. And it's like, it's a sickness I have because I love research. Monica and I talk about that all the time. I just love researching stuff. So I love being able to get into the nitty gritty. And I feel like now I'm finally starting to get into stuff that is like, you can't just find this information. I mean, it's just not out there on a pretty little package with a little bow around it. I'm really having to just figure it all out. And I like the puzzle. So like you, Taylor.
Yeah.
If I don't feel it, I'm like, no. And that's why I will put things off. If people ask me to do something, I'm like, I've got to feel it.
Yeah. It has to be something that like I'm motivated to do.
Because you guys put so much energy and information. I mean, your videos are like Alanda. Your videos are really long. Yours too, Savvy. I'm not as a bad thing, but just as like there's just such a plethora of information that I guess if you're going to be investing so much of your time and energy on it, you might as well be enjoying what it is, or kind of feel something inside you that is telling you to keep going and keep doing that. Otherwise, if you hate what you're doing, why are you doing it?
For me, like when it comes to what videos I'm going to make, I generally start like I plan out my videos pretty far in advance, and I have a running Google Doc where I change around the order of videos as I need to. So I generally start with like I have a calendar for myself of when my book releases are coming or when my company's launching a new product or things like that. So when I do videos based on those things, I'll be like, okay, so I have to do a video for my book release here. I have to do like 2 vlogs of me revising the book before. Then I have to do a video about the cover reveal. So I'll block those out, and then I'll be like, okay, now that those are blocked out, if I'm going to make 2 to 3 videos a week, I have all these other dates open, and then I'll just think of all the topics I want to make videos on and put those in there. But then sometimes something immediate will happen, and I'm like, go in there and shift it around. Like the day Rachel Hollis got divorced, I got my DMs just blew up. Everybody's over here like, oh my God, did you see? I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to move this one. We're going to move this one. We'll put that one in there. And then sometimes people send me like, things that are going on, or they send me stories of things that have happened to them, or sometimes I have people reach out and want me to interview them, and I love interviewing people. So like there's recently I put up a video where I interviewed someone who was an actor in a Beachbody infomercial.
I saw that, and I gotta say I loved it. I just haven't had a chance to comment on it, but I was like, oh, I wish I was there.
It was fascinating. Well, right now Kat Benson is doing a reaction video to it, so I cannot wait to see that because with her specialized knowledge, that's going to be so good. But so someone reached out and was like, "Hey, I was actually an actor in the Beachbody infomercial. Like, would you be interested in interviewing me about what the process was like?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So every time someone reaches out to me, being like, "I have an interesting story to share on your channel," I work that in there. So. For me, I don't know. I'm kind of open to a lot of different types of videos as long as they all tie back to my main thing, which is that I am a writer, an artist, and a small business supporter and small business person. And if it all ties back to that, I will pretty much do a video on it. But in terms of deep dives, the next one I have planned is Usborne Books, since it's the book MLM. And man, do I hate the book MLM.
I'm sure you have a lot of opinions about that.
Their presence at craft fairs was what made me want to start making anti-MLM videos. I'm like, why are you at this craft fair when I am a real author? Please get out of here. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of comes from a lot of places like that. My brain is not very organized.
I'm impressed that I tried to plan things out, and I had a little calendar. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. But something always just kind of pops up, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to plan, and just planning just doesn't seem to work. Mm-hmm. So I just have to kind of roll with whatever is, coming up, and still listen to like, well, what? And now that I am doing the Notorious series, I mean, there's so many people involved in it. It's like, okay, let me tick this person off. Oh, and they're connected to this person. It's like, I just keep going, and I'm just engrossed in all of that.
Yeah, when I find out about connections, that becomes a whole thing too, where I'm like, oh my God. Like, I think I watched, this was like right when I'd started doing anti-MLM videos. I had done one anti-MLM video, and I had done one video reviewing the book Girl Wash Your Face. And those videos both got a lot of views. And then I saw Kiki Chanel did this video that came out all of a sudden that was like, Rachel Hollis is speaking at the Beachbody convention. And I was like, oh my God, she is? Well, I guess I better cover that. And it was the start of something beautiful.
Yeah. As far as like for me, when it comes to deep dives, I have a list of companies that people send me, but it's the same thing as what Alanda said. Once I start looking into it, and I don't know if you guys have ever done this either, but once I start looking into it, I have to actually be interested in it enough to make the video. But I've done this more times than I'd like to admit, but I've done the research for a video, I've written the script, I've filmed the video, and I've edited the video. And after all of that, I'm like, I don't like it.
I've done that too.
Yeah, and it's like I spent all that time, but I don't want to put a video out there that it's clearly noticeable that I'm just not as interested in it as I would like to be. Mm-hmm. But then like I've gone back to the topic later on, and I've seen, okay, I think Joe just came here, so I might have to mute my mic. But
I'm struggling with something. I think I mentioned it to you, Monica. Okay, you lovely people probably don't know that I am a professional instructional designer, which means someone who designs and develops training. I've specialized in like e-learning. I've done any kind of training I've done. I'm also a former classroom teacher. And one of the things that has pissed me off beyond measure are all these janky ass people selling these courses. And they are just horrible because they're so poorly designed.
I hate them.
It drives me crazy. And so I wanted to do, and this girl, she's a beautiful girl, but she kept coming up in my YouTube, like commercials. And I'm like, and she annoys me because her background's marketing. And that's the thing. All these people, their background is marketing. That's a different skill set than actually knowing how to put together content so that somebody actually learns something and can go perform it on their own. I filmed that like 3 times and edited it. I've never published it because I'm like, it just, I don't know if people are going to really give a shit about this.
Oh, I need this video. Please put it out there.
And it feels so just inauthentic. I mean, it just was, I'm like, this just feels so crappy. I don't know. Because then I'm like, does anybody actually want to hear me talk about what the real process is to actually create a course?
I do.
I feel like that would be really important. Like, I think that's really good information.
I'm in 2 industries. I'm in the author world and the small business world, and both of these worlds have been overrun by all of these scammy courses of people being like, people take advantage of new authors with this all the time because it's so hard to get your first book out there and to get a reading audience. Like, selling books is one of the hardest things to get into. And so there's all these people out there. I just did a video about this recently, actually, where I reviewed the book Author-preneur, where I was like, if these types of things keep happening, the author world could make an MLM structure, and I would just die if that happened. So I'm so sick of the courses. I am so sick of like just business gurus being like, here's my life coaching course or what. Like, stop. Like, Alanda's a professional in this. I need to see your take. Yes, I need to do this video, Alanda. I need it.
Well, and then we can do a collab and talk about it too, because you can literally pull up any course and I can just rip it to pieces because I'm like, when actually on one of my Enagic videos, I was able to access this course that they sell, but it's like, so you can be a business owner, but it's really to get you to join Enagic, which is the water filtration MLM. And so I go through all of it, and I do talk about, like in instructional design, we use this model called ADDIE, and it's analyze, design, develop, implement, evaluate. And so I went, and I'm like, there's nothing, there's no substance here at all.
Yes.
So, I broke it.
Alanda, I don't know if you saw, I did a video not that long ago where I took Rachel Hollis's course about how to rebuild your life after tragedy. And it's so bad. Well, because when I pre-ordered her book to do a review on it, it gave you a link to the free course that came along with the book. It is, dude, it is so bad. It's like, it's 1 hour long. First of all, how much can you teach people about how to rebuild your entire life after you get fired or whatever in 1 hour? That's ridiculous. And she spends the first 10 minutes just advertising her book that I already bought because it came with the book. So it's like, dude, I recommend you should watch that one, and we should do a video about this kind of thing. And I really I need your expertise in this.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I want to see this course, even though I'll be horrified by it and probably going to pluck out my own eyeballs and
you will. Because people were like plucking out their eyes who are not professionals in instructional design. And so, it's like an hour long. I took the course live on camera and did all the exercises and learned nothing.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. And I've been doing some, I've had access to the 15-star diamonds and Beachbody provided training. And I'm like reacting to what they're saying, which is like, if I put out anything like this and called it training, I would be laughed at, and I would never be able to work in the profession because this shit is not training. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo BS.
And I feel like from your perspective, a lot of us who are anti-MLM, we don't like that a lot of these people are co-opting the same language that small business owners use. I'm a business owner, I'm my own boss, and that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't like you co-opting something that someone legitimate like me is doing. Like, it's the same thing for you, where it's like people who go online and are just like life coaches who are selling their e-course on how to, be a boss babe and make $1 million. Like they go out there and sell that, and it's tarnishing the reputation of actual online coursework when, someone like you could create an actual online course that would teach someone something, but just online rather than face-to-face. And that's necessary, but these people are giving it a bad reputation by being like, well, now I don't know, maybe this course is a scam.
Well, the ones that really piss me off are the ones that they're going to teach you how to create a course. You're teaching people how to do some marketing thing, not actually create a course. You're not
also like
on that.
That's how a pyramid happens. So it's like, I'm going to run a course where I teach you how to make a course. Great. Now you know how to make a course. So now you're also going to make a course. It's like, okay, who actually puts a product into the world? At what point does any real value get added into society? Or are we all just going to teach each other things until the day we die? Like, what's going to happen here?
What I think that's like part of like how people make money in the MLM sphere is by selling people like the training or the courses that they need rather than like anything like substantial. I actually did a video talking about kind of comparing the California Gold Rush to MLMs.
I love that video.
Yeah, because like when during the California Gold Rush, the only people that actually made any substantial money were the people that were selling the tools for people to go and collect gold, like the panning stuff. And like I feel like with MLMs, it's basically the same thing. Like the only people that make any money is just the people like Eric Worre who are just selling courses.
Go pro with Eric Worre.
I'm so excited for that video of yours because that's gonna be
I hope to have it out by this Friday because I had to stop filming before I got through the whole book though because I had no voice left because I was yelling at the camera for so long. No, dude, the California Gold Rush video was one of my favorite videos of yours ever.
Thank you.
Because it was funny because I had used an analogy like that in a video that I'd put out recently, and I felt like you were reading my mind because Tyler and I did this video reacting to the Made for More documentary, and partway through we were like, so to make an analogy, what Rachel's doing here is not just like if this were the gold rush, she's not just selling a shovel to people, she's selling a course on how to sell shovels.
Oh my gosh.
And we had to cut it out because we were drunk and we rambled about this for like 15 straight minutes. And so I cut it out, but then I saw you made a video about this. And I'm like, okay, yes, someone else has the same thought. And you explained it so well.
I actually got that idea because I had a commenter on one of my other videos who talked about that. He was saying how it's so similar to the California Gold Rush.
Yeah.
And so, like while I was looking into it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty much exactly the same thing. Just one's gold and one's stupid MLM bullshit stuff.
Yeah, it's very similar.
I have not seen that video of yours, but I did a video on George Graham Rice, who was before Ponzi. And he was part of that whole gold rush type thing. I mean, and the video I did, it was like everything that he does, that's what people do in MLMs today. It's like the same stuff happening. And so I don't know if you came across him in your research or not.
Mm-mm.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, it's so funny because all of these things, these scams are not original. It's all been done again and again.
I think get rich quick schemes are all pretty, like they're pretty similar at their core.
Yeah. Amanda, how do you decide what you want to do your videos on?
I mean, it started off with like trying to touch on what kind of introduced me to MLM, which was like when I first like knew that there was such a structure, and that was with the Mary Kay stuff. And so I really just talked about like how I was attempted to be recruited and how my best friend decided to end our friendship over that, 2 separate occasions. So then I just kind of went into what Mary Kay is as like a continuation of why I don't like Mary Kay, an additional reason. And then because I wasn't involved with Beachbody, then I just felt like talking, because that's something that I actually know about. I know the insides, I know the back office situation. Then I started going into that, and I'm doing my lesson series. And so for me, that's kind of like I guess like a backbone type of, in the background, like I know I'm going to do lesson 6. I know I'm going to do lesson 7. I know, like I'll eventually get around to it when I get around to it. But then I just kind of pick up topics here and there that either interests me because I've been personally approached by somebody. Like for a while, it was this nurse with Arbonne. So then for a while, I went into Arbonne. And then it was like when I started looking into Arbonne, then I looked into their whole like B Corps certified thing. And I'm like, well, what does this actually mean? And so then I'm like, well, this is BS actually, you know, if you're not actually like doing everything that it could be. So that kind of leads me into, so it's like one thing leads me into another, you know, there's nothing extremely special about it, but
I think that's really true for all of us, that we get led from one thing to another, and it just kind of like starts kind of like coming at you.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And then one thing when I was looking at Mary Kay, and this is going like way back to December and January and February when I was actually doing Mary Kay stuff, I was looking at the DSA, and I was like looking at it and just like, this absolutely doesn't hold MLMs accountable for anything. You know, so now that's on my list of things that I want to cover, but I have other things that I want to talk about. So like it's.
Yeah, I think that it's good that more people talk about the DSA, because I don't hear a lot of anti-MLMers talking about that. And I don't know if you guys know, but I just found this out. Like, it's on the DSA's website. They stopped a legislation that would have required that the Department of Defense create training materials for military members and their spouses to learn about the risks of MLMs. Like, that was going to be a law, and the DSA stopped it from happening.
Because
so
there's members, there's members of the board that are members of MLM companies.
Okay, wait, sorry. When a direct selling associate, because when I googled DSA, it came up with the Democratic Socialists of America. And
no, it's like, direct selling.
I don't think it's their fault. Okay,
it's a lobbying group.
Yeah, that's when you hear companies, MLMs, always being like, the DSA recognizes us as a great company. In fact, it's like, I don't think that holds much weight.
They're just the lobbying group for MLMs.
Yeah, pretty much. But they use that lobbying group to say like, oh no, we're in compliance. And you're like, no, not if they're like trying to get you through all of these loopholes.
Yeah. Well, also people
but this is
and they go to the DSA, and the DSA goes to the FTC. So there's this back and forth between them. And it's like, so who's actually guarding the hen house here, you know?
Right. But this is what we see the members of MLM actually use to kind of like, I guess, defend that it's not a pyramid scheme. They're like, well, no, because we're a member of the DSA. And you're like, but do you know what that actually means?
Right? All the DSA sponsors are like, they're sponsored by Amway, by Herbalife. Like,
they're just the MLM company.
Yeah.
I just wanted to quickly say too, before it disappears, thank you, Katie, for the super chat. I'm having a hard time like keeping up with everything, so just wanted to say that real quick.
I feel bad for some missed comments.
So hard. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of questions, so I'm trying to like make sure we get through them, but I'm so sorry to anyone if we don't get through all of them. The next one that I see is, what was your favorite video and least favorite video you made? Well, I mean, for me, that's kind of easy. My favorite video was my first video of telling my story, but at the same time, that's also my least favorite video because of the audio.
We wouldn't know you by coming from a highway if coming live from a highway.
Yeah, exactly. So that one's easy for me, but I don't know about you guys.
I'm lucky. I have to look through. I have like 350 videos, so I'm going to look through all of mine right now.
You know, okay, I'm going to say for me is the one that's coming out tomorrow about the Steinkiller brothers. I really enjoyed putting that together, and it was super, super intense.
I thought you were going to say that was your least favorite. I'm like, but
no, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. Okay. Probably my least favorite is one of my earlier videos of me kind of like telling my story because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Not that I really know what I'm doing now, but I've learned so much along the way, and my audio sucked ass. And you know, I've got a fancy mic now. Look, I'm fancy. You know? So I it's weird, and for me, there's also, it's like I've done so many weird MLMs too, like ones that like the Ring Bomb Party, the Ruby Ribbons.
I've
I've done Lioness, which with Lioness, there's a song, and it's like, I mean, there's just so many different things. It's really hard for me to pinpoint. But I will say my least favorite ones to do are any kind of reaction, anything, because I would rather pluck out my own eyeballs and eat them, because it's like it's so repetitive and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I like to react sometimes, depending. Like I like to react to MLM conference speeches. I think those are funny.
Savy, you make anything entertaining, quite honestly.
Oh, thank you. I would say the same for you, Amanda. I love your channel so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like I'm just like monotone.
No,
You are
great.
so soothing. I love listening to you because you soothe me.
Yeah,
thank you.
here. I would have to agree with that, actually.
I got a really nice compliment, or it was a comment. I took it as a compliment because I think it was on one of my videos. It says like, you're like a friend, you're like a person who I have just hanging out in my kitchen, just chatting with me.
Oh, you hang out in my kitchen all the time. All of you, actually.
I think we all do that.
Yeah, when I'm cooking,
just like, yes, I love that.
Yeah, when I'm cooking, I'll just be like, okay, Savy came out with a video. All right, let's put on her video.
But that's what I do. I treat the camera as like, hey, you're my friend, and I want to talk to you about this MLM or whatever. And so I do try to, I not purposely, but that's just how I make my content. So
that's how
I
a
feel
parasocial relationship builds too.
Yeah.
It's hard to determine my favorite and least favorite video and separate it, like, because it's hard to separate it from the ones that have gotten the most and least views. Like, it's like automatically, if I make a video and a lot of people watch it, it becomes my favorite video because I'm like, oh yes. I would say my least favorite video is this one I made that I'm sure no one's seen. That came out like 2 years ago, called Let's Talk About Skillshare. And in this video, what I did was because this was when I was primarily a booktuber, and I was talking about how a lot of booktubers were taking sponsorships from Skillshare. And I was talking about how, like, that's cool. Maybe I should do a public speaking for authors class on Skillshare. And it was really just me talking about my ideas for a potential Skillshare class, which I never ended up making. And I planned it out, but then I canceled Skillshare because I didn't really like it that much anymore. But I just didn't delete the video because I don't really delete videos. So that's probably my least favorite one, is Let's Talk About Skillshare, because it's boring and dumb. And it's just me spitballing my public speaking for authors ideas, which I might make and put on Patreon in the future, is a thing I've talked about because I don't really care about Skillshare anymore. So that's my least favorite. It's stupid and boring. My favorite is probably, like, it might be the second Classically Abby video I made, because
you were fair to her, by the way.
Thank
you. You were really, really fair in those videos. Like, it was very unbiased. Like, I have to applaud you 110% for that.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I noticed that, like, I try to go into things, like, obviously I'm going to insert my own opinion because it's my own channel, but I've also, like, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and not, like, try to assume things that they didn't say. But then I always get either, like if I react to someone like Tony Robbins, I get people being like, why were you so easy on him? He's evil. You should have torn him apart. Or I'll get people who are a fan of them being like, you're so unfair to them. I'm like, I tried my best just to give an honest critique, but whatever. But probably the second Classically Abby video I made, because I did a fun outfit and I did a little skit, either that or the
straight ant from the 50s.
The straight ant from the 50s, Classically Savvy. Or the one I did called Young Living Ruined by Gay Awakening, just because I like the title so much.
That was a good one. I
that was a good one.
That. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that video a lot.
I was like, I need to do this video because of the title.
That was a good title.
I think for me, my favorite one was actually the Gold Rush one that we've been talking about, because it was just very relaxing video for me to write. It was kind of just like I was telling a story. So I really liked that. My least favorite one is actually probably my first video, how Trump made millions in MLMs. And it's primarily my least favorite because it was just enraging to me to learn about everything he's been involved with. He actually had his own MLM called the Trump Network that sold vitamins and supplements and stuff like that. And they actually had people getting urine samples and like sending them to the company so that they could analyze the urine sample and like tell them what supplement they needed based on that. Like they were actually shipping people's urine. Yeah.
That's like, it reminds me of like the in It's Always Sunny when they're in the Invigoron pyramid scheme and they have that machine that you're supposed to like, does it like determines your stress when you put your feet on the machine? What was that? That episode was great. I don't remember what it was though.
Also, oh, sorry. Did I?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my last thing was like, because that was my first video that I made, and I like completely 100% script all my videos because I want to make sure that I include certain information and don't say things that are incorrect. But I was not used to using a teleprompter yet, so filming that video took like so long. So I don't have fond memories of that.
Anybody else? I can't remember if we went around to everybody.
My favorite probably was just like my it's hard because I do, you know, I think collectively we have to create this content, right? So it's like we invest so much, just like the information gathering. I'm using Kat Benson's term that she's still in here because I was just like, oh yeah,
that's a great
more
term.
Information gathering than research, because when you think of research, that's a heck of a lot of work. But the gathering of information that you want to say, the scripting, like Taylor mentioned, the recording, the editing and everything. So like I hate to say that I hate anything, and I love to say that I love all of my work. But probably like the one that I think I'm gonna have a favorite later on that I'm gonna upload sometime in the near future. But probably the one about where I tell my story that was featured on Illuminati's video, like my second video about the Beachbody one, just because that was super conversational, and it wasn't about like gathering information and talking about it. It was like my personal experience and being able to talk about it. And I liked how I looked in the video.
You look really pretty in that video.
Thank you. I actually had recorded like a get ready with me with that. And then I never edited and uploaded that because that's just how I roll. I just pick and choose what I want to actually work on and then whatever. But my least favorite is obviously the one that had to address like the hate comments that I got about the whole like Rona and my job situation and all that, just because it's unfortunate for a content creator to have to be even put in that position where they have to address mean-spirited comments in the first place. So that's the only one that I think that I could probably do without, but it is what it is.
I thought that video of yours was so great. I was shocked that people were rude about it because I was like, this was like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's such a good video.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't regarding MLMs, but yeah, it was something that obviously people had a lot of opinions about. So, but the amount of support that I got totally outweighs the amount of like hate comments that I got. So I do appreciate everyone that's watching and that will watch this video. If you were there to support me during that decision, I really appreciate all of the support.
Yeah, I remember that video. I feel like a lot of people took what you said out of context because they just read the title and they didn't bother to actually and see. And that's the thing that sometimes gets me, is that when people say that they have an opinion about a video, but they don't watch the whole thing. And I mean,
they click on it enough to type the comment and then they click out.
Yeah. Because I mean, you got to think about it. Yes. I try not to do like super clickbaity things. I know that like gets the views and stuff, but I try not to. But a lot of times I'll see a lot of creators do that, and not even just like an anti-MLM, just on YouTube in general. And I always watch the video from start to finish because there's going to be some kind of context that gets lost if you don't watch the whole entire thing. So that's why like sometimes when I see the comments, I'm like, okay, you obviously only watched the first 5 minutes just to comment because you didn't listen to what I said. So yeah, or they don't want to hear anything besides their own opinions in their brains. So that's also another thing. I completely lost my spot, by the way, in the question. So I'm trying to find where we left off. I did see a comment at one point. It popped up. Where is it? What advice will you give a person that wants to start an anti-MLM YouTube channel? So if you guys want to start while I find where we left off.
I think there's two comments with that.
Okay, there's two of them. Okay.
I think so, unless I just saw it twice.
Oh, I think it's by the same person. I think she posted the same comment.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's an important question.
And then somebody asked like what we like to like binge on, like what other things like topics we have to binge on YouTube. If you find that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but if you guys I'm going to find that, but if you guys want to talk about advice for starting an anti-MLM channel, you guys go ahead and do that, and I'm going to look for this.
I would say just go for it. I mean, don't overthink it, because I think that stops a lot of people from doing anything in life, is just getting all freaked out and worried about it. And be kind and gentle with yourself, because I mean, it's not like I'm some pro on camera or anything like that. Just be you, and just take the plunge, and just kind of see what happens. It's like I don't think there's a right or a wrong. Find what works for you and go for it.
Yeah, I would kind of go off of what you're saying, Alanda. Like, I think especially if you have a story to tell, if you've been in an MLM before or have any sort of experience with MLMs, you should use that perspective, because I think one of the good things about the anti-MLM movement is we all have these different perspectives. Like, I personally haven't been in an MLM, but I have a big history with my family and a story to tell there. And that kind of informed and was a big motivating factor for me to start my channel. So, but yeah, I think that just go for it and realize that like your first couple of videos, there's going to be a learning curve there. So it might be a little shaky to start off with, but like all of us have started there, and all of us have videos that we maybe feel like we could have done better. But I think the fact that there's so many anti-MLM YouTubers now is such a good thing, because it's only making this movement bigger, and the louder we are, the more people will not be able to ignore this. So yeah, I think just go for it.
I think in terms of advice, like if you want advice for like growing your channel, because dude, it took me forever to get like any subscribers on YouTube. And the one I did, like, you gotta find what works. So I don't know. I feel like when if you're going to make an anti-MLM channel, thinking about like why you're passionate about this movement, and what, like, obviously make the content you want to make whatever videos make you happy, but like what makes your voice unique, and what makes your voice something, and your experiences. So like, I don't know, it's like, for me, I talk about like, the book world and how being an author and being a small business owner affects it. And then like you have a lot of people, like you have, Monica, who talks about it from the business owner perspective, but also the perspective of having been in Beachbody in the past and things like that. And like, we all have our own story and our own angle. So I would say emphasize what connects you to the stuff that you're making, instead of having like, I know it's easy to try to like be distant from it and just report on things, but I first like fell in love with Amanda's content because she's a nurse. So I was like, this is interesting to see like an actual medical professional reacting to all of these false medical claims that these companies are putting out and that kind of thing, because it's credible, and it's interesting to see your perspective. So yeah, think about what makes you unique, and then also join find like comments on other people's videos, join Monica's Facebook group. I found a bunch of you guys there. Comments on each other's videos. Don't be shy in telling people that you have a channel. And
ask for advice. We're really, I think all 5 of us, and then there's more in the community that are pretty open books about it. We don't try to like hide the secret of like YouTube success. I mean, I don't know what everyone else's sub count is. I'm definitely under 2K. So, but I'm proud of my subscribers. Yes. But I mean, I think it's about wanting to do it and accepting that, okay, you're going to be in this vulnerable space because you're kind of putting yourself out there. So kind of be aware that if people are disagreeing with you or argumentative or whatever, that is what comes with the territory of being on social media. But have something that can record you. What I didn't have in the beginning was any sort of like microphone, and I record off of my camera. I mean, my camera. This is a cell phone. But this is an S9, I think. I don't know, but it's like it works just fine. But what I did is I went and I got a microphone that goes into like the headphone jack, and like my audio is so much better because of it. And so, and I don't feel like I have to shout at my phone.
I record using Zoom with my webcam.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I would say like, oh, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because my husband, Genetically Modified Skeptic, he has like over 300,000 subscribers now. His first videos were filmed from his phone. So like using your phone is completely fine. And the quality is completely, as long as your audio is good, like the quality is completely fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to go out and like buy all this expensive equipment.
Yeah.
Natural daylight is always great if you have the place and you can record in the daytime. I know that natural daylight is really good for the light. And I think, if you can actually like, I guess, if you don't have like even just like a personal story, this is for like anti-MLM, I guess, specifically, but if you just wanted to do your own YouTube channel, then just find out what it is that you want to do and do it. For anti-MLM, it can be a little bit more connected if you have a story to go with it. But if you are completely on the outside and you just agree with the business model or the movement, I should say, and disagree with the MLM business model, then you still have every option and right and everything to put up your own YouTube channel about it. I would encourage, and I think I talked to Monica about this earlier, I think last week, is that it's really important to kind of like know the basics about what being anti-MLM is, like who the important people are, who's, done what kind of work towards the movement. That's really helpful for establishing like a very firm base, because if you do get that like feedback from people, then at least you know that you have like that strong foundation to go off of. And just to be honest here, like I didn't know like any of the people that were originally, I feel like that should be the basics of knowing what anti-MLM is. When I first started my channel, I was just telling my story, and that's okay. But keep yourself open for learning, always learning. And that's what we try to do here, the five of us, is like we're really big proponents of educating, and just ask questions. And all of us are here to help answer. I mean, we want the more the merrier, I think. We don't try to create rules, and we don't try to create like cliques or anything. And I think that if we have more voices that are going in the right direction, then we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I would say also, don't be afraid of getting criticism. Even like you're going to get rude comments. It's going to happen. But sometimes when you get a rude comment,
pin them to the top of the comments.
Pin them. That's what I do. Yeah. If you get a rude comment, like you got to learn to separate the rude comments that are just rude to be rude versus the rude comments that you might actually be able to learn something from. Mm-hmm. Like I have gotten rude comments, but I'm like, after sitting back and analyzing them, like, even though other people would say, oh my God, that's so rude, I completely disagree with this. I think, is there something I could learn from this? So, like, I've gotten comments saying that sometimes I take too long to get to a point because I talk so much. So I've tried condensing my intros, and that's been helpful. I got a comment where someone was like insulting my glasses, but the truth is I got these new glasses because, like, these are the glasses I wear in my videos. These broke like a year ago, right before Christmas. They got snapped in half by accident, and so I had to get new glasses real quick, and I couldn't afford to get the protective coating to keep the reflection. So now they reflect from my light, and it distracts people in the video. So I was like, okay, I will just wear the old glasses in the video, and honestly, the videos look better for it. So like things like that is like, you're like, this comment is rude and this person shouldn't have said it, but like, can I learn something from it? Because I know that like we're all here, we all criticize like toxic positivity and MLMs and the importance of how they're always like, you must cut out all negativity in your life. And I think it's important not to be like that. See if the negativity could teach you something. And sometimes it can't. Sometimes you just got to ignore them, but sometimes it will. And sometimes if you pin the comment to the top of your page, other people will defend you. So that is fun.
Now I try sometimes on some of the rude comments, I'm like overly sweet back to them. Yes. You know, I'm like, thank you so much for your kind words. And I just will go on and say something. And then they're, you know, and I'm like, hugs, have a fabulous day. Cause I'm like, you were such a complete asshole. And there was no reason to do that. But
someone recently told me that they thought I was cringy. And I was like, that's okay. I understand. Can you point out some places where I made you cringe so that I can work on improving for the future? And they were just like, no, I think you did a good job. And I'm like, that's not what you said 5 minutes ago. So like, some people don't want, like, they don't expect you to actually see the comment. I'm like,
that's the keyboard warriors. You just all, you know, they feel all bad for whatever reason, which I don't understand why people just have to come on and say some of the rudest, cruelest thing, because we are all critiquing an industry that we find problematic. We're not like bashing the people. And I'm told all the time how I'm bashing other women. No, if I wanted to bash women, I would bash women. I'm not bashing women.
I get all the video I get the most hate comments on is my video about J.K. Rowling, because I have a lot of people in the comments that do not support the trans people, and they're really mean. So I try to argue with them about it, but then I'll get some people who are like, Savy, I should have known you were so misogynistic that like you wouldn't support J.K. Rowling as a strong woman, and like I knew you should have known you were misogynistic when you bash Rachel Hollis so much. There are so many men who are worse than them that you could be bashing. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I do bash those men too. Like, if you see my videos on Tony Robbins or Grant Cardone, like I've gone way harder on them. I don't know what you're on about. I'm not going to, like, I'm going to support and uplift women. But if you're a woman and you're doing something scammy or shitty, like I'm going to still call you out for it. You're not immune from me.
Yeah. And it's something I've been thinking about recently, is that it's very, very possible to take a firm stance on something while being nuanced in your approach. So like we can take a firm stance against anti-MLM or against MLMs, and that does not mean that we're against the people at all.
Right.
And we can critique the companies without critiquing the people. And I think all of us, we're all about like educating and taking down the companies and the people that are the ringleaders of these things, rather than just going after like specific people. So yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with being anti-MLM. Like taking down companies is important.
And critiquing actions. I mean, when you see people saying really like, well, you know, making income claims or whatever, like I've done with the 15-star diamonds and Beachbody, it's like, you know, I mean, the stuff that they're training, I'm like, you're not training, number one. I mean, you know, I'm never like tearing them down. I am tearing down what they are saying, which is different, you know.
Yeah, that's very, very different. Yep. Yeah, ideas and actions are not like immune from being critiqued, you know, but people deserve our respect. Ideas, not so much.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you see it, like, because in real life, if you met a person who's in an MLM, like I have when I've been at craft fairs, and they've been super nice, kind people who you can tell they're not doing this because they want to scam you. They like got roped in somehow, and they genuinely believe that what they're doing is going to help them make money. And it's like, I'm not going to be here and be like, oh my God, wow, you suck. I'm so mad at you for existing. Like it doesn't help to do personal attacks. Also, because like in the debate world, we would call that an argument ad hominem, which is that's a fallacy, right? You can only attack arguments and ideas. If you attack a person, it doesn't say anything about why what they're actually doing is wrong, because it's not them that's wrong. It's the action and the idea.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. Be kind to people. Encourage people to get out of MLMs, be kind to them, but attack the companies and their structures 100%.
So I just wanted to say two things. First of all, there's someone who commented in the chat. I haven't been able to find where I was, but there was someone, Cheryl Harris. She said, I have enjoyed watching, listening to this so much. I have to go though. My sister is going into labor with her third baby. So I just wanted to say,
wow.
Oh my God,
Congrats.
congratulations.
Yeah, so
Congratulations. That's so cool.
Yeah, if Cheryl sees this on replay or anything, congratulations. And then I did also want to say thank you to Morgan Elaine. She sent me a super chat and she said happy birthday to both myself and Taylor. And that I'm in a tiny rural North Carolina town that is overrun with MLM reps. And I also wanted to say about Morgan, because I remember her username and her picture. Morgan actually commented on one of my videos a while back, and she talks about how she lost her job during the pandemic. And she got a new one, but she just got a job. She updated me on a recent video, but it was on a video where I forget what the rep was saying exactly, but basically we just talked about how some people, these MLM reps, they talk about how, oh, these 9-to-5s are so terrible. Meanwhile, there's people like Morgan who lost her job during the pandemic, and there's really not much she could do about that. I mean, you can't really do much about that. And so we were going back and forth. So I just wanted to give her a little shout out because I remember her username and everything. And I cannot find where I left off. Half of the chat is missing here. So I don't know if you guys want to go off of Amanda. I know that you said you saw something about what else do we binge watch besides Anti-MLM, right? Was that a question?
Yeah, I actually hear it. Are there other topics and series that y'all like to binge watch on YouTube? That was by MK. I saw that before the
True crime.
Yeah, I figure.
True crime.
I think 100% of us like the true crime. I
actually don't watch true crimes too much, other than Monica's.
Oh, well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, Monica's the primary true crime.
She's a one-stop. She's a one-stop shop.
Yeah. If anyone's looking for some good true crime channels, though, Bailey Sarian, I feel like everyone knows Bailey Sarian. I watch her for her makeup, and the way that she presents her material is a little more entertaining rather than, it's just more entertaining. And she likes to say suspish. And then her theme song is, she made up her own theme song, which is really funny. And then there's also Stephanie Harlow. If anyone is looking for really full-blown detailed, I mean, this woman, she has just on one case, it was the Charles Manson and the Manson family, basically. That was, I think, a 6 or 7 part series, and each one was like an hour and a half. So if you're looking for anyone who really goes deep into the entire everything about it, details and everything, she's really good. Kendall Ray is really good. And then there's one that I was just told about. Her name's Danielle.
I like Danielle.
Yeah, the only thing about her is that I have to watch her in increments because I need to know what happens. And she does a lot of missing persons cases. So it really makes me sad whenever I watch hers. So that's something, if someone can't watch any like missing persons cases or anything, she covers a lot of those. But
and who is that guy that we both like?
Oh, Joshua Miles.
Yes,
him too. Yeah, those are my top favorite for true crime for sure.
I don't know any of their names. I just watch them. They just go down the playlist. But I did look up this JCS psychology, I think. It's not like true crime, but it actually shows like interrogation videos. I've been really binging those because like once you watch one, it's like the YouTube algorithm thing. You watch one, they recommend another, and then they recommend another, and then they recommend another. And like he goes into like now if this person was smart, he would have asked for a lawyer. But also if this person was smart, like read their like did you notice the inflection and the tone of their voice? And it's like really, it's like analyzing these people in interrogation. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. Do not commit a crime and ever go into interrogation.
Have you ever seen the Jodi Arias interrogation?
Yes.
Yeah. Like that is a whole nother level of weird. I don't know, Savy and Taylor, if you've ever seen it, but she started doing like handstands in the interrogation.
What? I have not seen that. I need to look that up now.
She started like singing and stuff. Yeah,
she was off.
Yeah, and actually, I did a video on that because Jody and Travis Alexander, that was her ex, and she actually murdered him. They met through an MLM company at a convention.
I remember that video of yours. I remember, I think because I remember watching it like while I was doing my hair for a video or something, and I was like, this is great. Primarily outside, like what got me into like YouTube in the first place, the majority of what I watch outside of like business scammers, MLMers, author like writing content and book reviews, which is kind of the stuff that I make, is the stuff that I watch. But the other main thing I watch is movie reviews. I love movie review channels. I love specifically the channels that find like weird cult movies from the 80s, or like really terrible like sci-fi movies, or really terrible, even like really terrible newer movies that are like, you know, weird things that are coming out, like, you know, like with those kind of like delusional directors that want to make themselves the big star that all the ladies are in love with, and those kind of movies. So I watch a ton of channels that do like terrible movie reviews. So like Red Letter Media is probably my favorite YouTube channel of all time. Like I watch everything they put out the second it comes out. Also because they have all the right Star Trek opinions. So I'll watch that. I watch like Your Movie Sucks and like Ralph the Movie Maker, and I like the like movie review dissection, like video essays by Lindsay Ellis and those people. So that's probably the primarily those type of things.
Savvy, have you? Okay, so she does like movie reviews, but Jamie French.
Jamie French, is she the one?
With the tiny face challenge.
Is she the one that she does like makeup in movies?
Yes.
Okay, because I just watched her review the other day of the Lizzie McGuire movie, and after I watched it, I was like, shit, I need to go rewatch the Lizzie McGuire movie. Like, because I was like, even when I saw this when I was in 5th grade and it came out, like, I knew it wasn't good when I saw it. And if I knew that young, like, this movie must be really bad in retrospect. So I like got super drunk and watched the Lizzie McGuire movie the other night, and it was worth the $4 I paid to rent it on Amazon. It was so incredibly awful. So yes, no, I've recently gotten into her reviews, and I've been into a lot. I've noticed lately a lot of like general commentary YouTubers are reviewing Disney Channel original movies from the 90s, and I'm like, I'm here for that. So I've been watching a bunch of those, like so I rewatched like Xenon Girls of 21st Century recently, and that was great.
Let me ask Joe something really quick. Hold on.
Okay.
But we can talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah. So anyway, I love
what is she saying?
I've been trying to film more videos about terrible movie reviews too. So Tyler and I have done like 2 so far. We did one back in 2018 that was like we reviewed all of these really bad Christmas romances. And then
there's so many.
Yeah, we did a video reviewing then Rachel Hollis's Rise documentary. I want to do more movie review videos with Tyler because we watch so many.
Because
guys. Okay, I'm gonna release mugs when I hit 10,000 subscribers. So I just got a sample of the Life Happens 3U mug.
See how I transitioned that into your mug?
And then I also am making a Business Guru magnetic poetry mug.
Proof that I watched your content, Savvy.
Savvy, watch Nakey Jakey.
Nakey J. That he sounds familiar. I maybe have watched him.
He's the guy on the bouncy ball that just like talks about movies and stuff.
That's random.
I've seen like one of his videos. He's really entertaining. It's very different.
But I love weird movie reviewers. I hate movie review content farms, like videos like CinemaSins, guys like that like every time a movie comes out, they have to just find a million things to criticize. I don't like those kind of videos because I think there
was a more smaller like YouTube channel that did like video like movie type reviews where they talked about like different like tropes and stuff, and I thought that was so interesting. And then they got bought out by a corporation, and now it's called PHO, and I'm just like, you're ruined.
That's the worst. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it just ruined their whole flow, and then all of a sudden the ad bombing, and then all of a sudden like the sponsor bomb, and I'm just like, okay, well, time to move on.
Okay, I can't find where we were. So do you guys remember any other questions that you saw in the chat?
Yeah.
Because I can't keep up with it.
If you posted a question, repost the question if we haven't answered it. How about that?
Oh wait, okay, I do know. I know Nakey Jakey from the Disney Channel original movies review he did. I saw that one a while ago. That one's hilarious.
Yeah, we watch him. I watch a lot of weird YouTube thanks to Joe. We watch Max Mofo. If you like weirdo open.
I like some incredibly weird YouTubers that I probably don't talk about publicly because I like, to an extent, I feel like I could get canceled for watching some of like the incredibly weird people on. Like, I love like Monkey Jones. Like, he's so weird and he has so much wrong with him. But like, he does some funny shit and reminds me of my days as a teen filmmaker. So I watch it for the nostalgia, you know.
I'm trying to think of like any other weird.
Somebody asked if we could remove any MLM out of existence. Which would you take out? And that got a lot of comments in the comment section.
Oh, that's a good
Aurora, which I have to say, I love the name Aurora. That's I'm sure you get it a lot, but my favorite Disney movie is Sleeping Beauty. And I for a very long time, like wanted to name my daughter Aurora if I were to ever have one.
So I actually know who Aurora is. That's not her real name, but yes.
It's a good screen name.
It's a good name. And Sleeping Beauty and Snow White are my favorite Disney princesses. And then I want to say that my favorite Disney villains are probably Cruella de Vil. Maleficent.
Yeah. You know, I actually like, oh God, what's their name? The Little Mermaids. Ursula.
Yeah.
She's just like, boom, 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 boom. She's very boss lady.
MLM out of existence. I would say Amway, because I feel like Amway kind of gives it more legitimacy because they've been around for so long. So I think Amway, because
they donate so much money to politicians.
That was
another thing. Millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's another thing too. So yeah, I would probably say Amway.
And Amway's like a multi-generational cult.
Yep.
Like if you like people's parents are in Amway and then they grow up in Amway and like it's more than a company, it's like a whole culture. And if you got rid of Amway, I think a lot of things would be better.
Well, and another thing too, like a good example of what you were just saying, Savy, is we know people here in Florida and yes. I'm not going to say their names on the live though, but the people that come to the store all the time. I don't want to like out.
I'm going to have to go. My husband just pulled up.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to go, but I will cut in and say, I actually have 3 that I'd probably take out. And it's Enagic, Market America, and Likenet.
Oh, okay.
And then, I'm also going to add OneCoin to that because I mean, like at one point, over 3 million people had joined it. So you know, it's like, so that's what I have. Anyway, I'm going to get going because he's going to come in and the dogs are going to go nuts. But happy birthday, Monica! Happy birthday, Taylor! I had so much fun, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Because they actually told me when I made my Amway video, the people that I was talking about before, she was like, yeah, that kind of it hits close to home because her brother does Amway and he actually makes money with Amway. So that's like, it kind of goes back to what you were saying, Savy, about how like a lot of people, they get involved in it and then it just continues to go. So.
And it's one of the original, like it's gone for so many decades.
Yeah. And it just gives the MLM industry, and also, I mean, they've been able to kind of make their own rules, so to speak, to kind of, you know, pave the way for other MLM companies. But
I think thinking about it for me, I I really despise Herbalife, and I haven't really done like a big deep dive with them, but just
My parents were in
knowing,
that.
yeah, and just knowing like how much they invest in these vulnerable populations to keep doing it and like just selling that American dream. It really just eats me up inside because it's really taking away from people who could be using that money to actually do something actually substantial with what limited money that they have. And they're in so much legal trouble every single year. I feel like every few months there's some huge article about something that they did, someone that they're paying off or whatever. And
didn't they just like bribe people in China, like government officials in China, like a couple months ago?
Yeah, and I really should like do more of a deep dive on them. It's just sometimes, and I think that this has been coming to light with other things, and I know I missed that part of the conversation with you guys earlier, but sometimes things can just be a little bit exhausting mentally and emotionally, and because I feel a certain way about them, there are certain things that I won't like touch on, just like, and I was sharing this with Kat Benson from Unlock Nutrition with our collab that we did. There are just certain things about the essential oil business that I will not touch on right now, even though I have a lot of opinions, because there's just a lot of personal stuff with them going on, and I just can't talk about it right now because it's too emotional for me. So you have to have a safe space. You have to know what boundaries you're willing to put up and what are okay to open doors with and what are okay to keep locked up for now. And so that's why I haven't talked about certain things.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
I was just going to say, I actually had someone on Twitter today send me something about essential oils, and it's someone that tweeted, it's at Mrs. MC Glover, and it said, I have a theory about some of the Karens who go viral throwing a tantrum in public spaces always seem to be connected to MLMs, especially essential oils. I wonder if they're encouraged to do something dramatic to go viral because it attracts a bunch of attention or eyes to their pages or products. And I was like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. That's an interesting theory.
That does seem possible because you often hear like stories about that. Although I feel like there was one lady who got fired from Rodan and Fields. She was like being racist in public.
Mary Kay.
Was it Mary Kay? I feel like there's probably more than one.
There's a lot of them.
There was a lady being, I think it was when people were coming up with names for people who were being obnoxious in public and getting filmed. This one lady was like Pool Patrol Patty or something, and she was being really racist at the pool and like had assumed, she was awful. She was like belonged to this like pool, and she assumed that like this black guy didn't belong there. She just like made that assumption. It was being rude to him, and then he filmed her, and she went viral as Pool Patrol Patty. And then apparently she had been a distributor for Rodan and Fields, and they found out about it, and they let her go because they didn't want that image associated with them.
I haven't seen that one yet. I thought we were talking about the Mary Kay rep that they actually had her pink Cadillac in the picture as she was taking down signs. I thought you were talking about that.
I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah, that I forget how long ago that was. Someone posted it in my Facebook group though. I can't remember how long ago that was. But yeah, there were people saying that she didn't actually get fired or like let go from the company. But I mean, if she had a pink Cadillac, then she's high up there. So I don't know if they would actually get rid of her.
There was a guy, like a man and his wife, like the couple was both involved in Lularoe, and I think we're pretty high up. And the guy went on a live stream to try to sell the clothes, and during his live stream, he was like made a really awful joke that was like making fun of mentally disabled people, and he like went on about it for a long time, like thinking this was okay, and then Lularoe like fired him. So.
Oh, I remember that. It was
that dude was awful.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, rightfully so. Don't go on making fun of people like that, you know?
Yeah.
But for the longest
Well, they
time,
shouldn't.
I think for the longest time that they were trying to defend him.
Yeah.
But they felt the heat because people were like,
Well, yeah, because I think Lularoe was like partnered with an organization that gave money for like something. And
that was in Municat. Is that how that was her Lularoe video, right?
Yeah, she did.
It probably was. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing that, but I know that it wasn't from the Vice documentary. And I remember it was like from another YouTuber.
Yeah.
I think for me, if there was one MLM that I could get rid of, it would probably be Young Living, just because I have a lot of personal history with that company. And I hate how they push their oils as medicinal, even though there's no scientific evidence to support that claim.
Yeah.
And how they use people's Christian faith against them also bothers me. It's Young Living's very, very culty, and I have huge problems with it. But if I was being more like realistic, I also would say Amway, because like why MLMs are so rampant today is pretty much because of Amway. So if they disappeared, the others would probably crumble as well.
Woof woof.
Oh yeah, MK, thank you for correcting me. Apparently, Lularoe didn't fire that couple, and because they kept them, the what was it, the Down Syndrome Association cut ties with Lularoe. I thought Lularoe then like fired them after because of the backlash.
Yeah, I thought so.
Either way, like
I think I think I remember that they were definitely initially supportive.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Aurora is right. Lularoe is trash.
Because they're looking at who brings them money. Ultimately, that's what's wrong with it. It's like the people at the top, like the CEO, they're in it for the money, and so they don't care if you're a SHIT person. As long as you sell the clothes, like buy the clothes, and then go to try to sell the clothes and recruit, they'll keep you on. I mean, they have little regard to who is representing them as long as they're benefiting.
Yeah.
My opinion on that.
There was a question. Sorry, I'm still trying to scroll through everything. I'm listening, but I'm trying to keep up. There was a question that said from MK, and it says, "Why do y'all think many anti-MLM people like true crime?"
Well,
I mean, that would be more so a question for you and me, Amanda, because we're like obsessed with true crime.
You know why I don't, I don't do true crime on my own content, because I really enjoy watching it. I just, I don't want to be the part of, I love consuming it, but man, Monica, you're the girl in my kitchen just saying like, hey, let me tell you about this guy.
Okay, so the way
that
the way that I got involved with true crime to begin with was, I mean, because you and I were very close in age. I mean, I grew up always hearing about John Benet Ramsey and O.J. Simpson. Like, I remember hearing that constantly.
You know, Polly Klaas.
Yeah.
Polly Klaas's disappearance. She was in the town just next to where I live, and so that was humongous when I was growing up. When I was 8, 9, 10 years old. That was humongous, and so everyone was afraid of like white vans for like the longest time, and like it just all of that. So
yeah. And I just grew up on that. And then when I went to school, I decided that instead of taking like an easy elective, I decided to take psychology. And so in there, I started to learn more about like serial killers too, because we had like one thing about serial killers and what makes someone do that, nature versus nurture. And it was a really good conversation. And I feel like because of that, I started to learn more about the psychology behind it, rather than just, oh, this person murdered that person. Like there's something behind it. There's something that, whether they do have some kind of mental illness, or whether it's just they snap one day. So that was something that always interested me. But I did see Aurora said passion to fight injustices would be my guess. And I think that that's a good way. Yeah, because a lot of, I do see that a lot of people, even like there were a few times where Bailey Sarian she mentioned when she did her Watts video, she mentioned that Shanann was in Thrive, and you could tell that she was calling it a pyramid scheme. And then also Stephanie Harlow, she did a video, and I think it was the Ken and Barbie Killers. Our videos came out like a day apart, but hers was like way better because it was like a 4 or 5 part series. I can't remember. But so that couple was in Amway, and even she kind of touched base on Amway, and you can tell that she's not for MLMs, I guess you could say. And yeah, so I think that would be a good way to put it, is that it's a passion to fight injustices. I think that's a really great way to put it, for sure.
And I'm actually putting out, I pre-recorded a why I became a nurse and then how I became a nurse type of video, because I get a lot of questions from my subscribers that are nurses or wanting to become nurses that have asked me to talk about that. And so that was one of the things I talked about. And in that video, I actually talk about how I actually was obsessed with forensic science for the longest time, and checked out the book by Henry something or other, and I don't remember his last name, but his first name is Henry. maybe his last name is Henry, but there's a Henry in the name. And he's like basically like the godfather of forensic science, because he actually he put it all together, even though parts of it were being used. And I never returned the book from the library, so I'm banned from ever becoming a library member again. But then CSI Miami became like extremely popular while I was in high school. And then I was just like, then I'm not going to do it, because I was not like the other girls.
See, Law and Order SVU was my favorite. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love all the Law and Orders, but SVU
probably.
So, but yes, I loved forensic science until forensic science became extremely popular. I still watch Forensic Files. It's one of my nighttime, if I have a hard time falling asleep, I just put that on and I'm just like, okay, good night. Murder, She Wrote. I mean, I'm all about the who, what, when, where, and how. But I actually did my preceptorship in nursing school to be forensic nursing. Like that's how interested I am with it. And so and that's obviously like DNA gathering, information gathering. But I also like to know the how, the what, and the why. And so for me, that's my connection. And yeah. Always been a topic.
Yeah, it's definitely I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a loaded question before. Like why do so many people that are anti? That's okay. I don't.
There's a lot of intricities. Yeah. You can come at it from different angles.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else, because we've been doing this for like a little over 2 hours, and I'm sure everyone is tired.
I'm just getting started. What are you talking about?
But yeah, so I can't remember if there are any more questions. I'm so sorry if we didn't answer everyone's questions, because there were a lot, and there's a lot in this chat. But
thank you guys for being here in the chat, for asking us questions.
Yeah,
I love having an active chat. It's so nice.
I feel like we've had such good questions too.
These are great questions. They're so interesting.
Yeah, there were there were a lot of really good questions on. You know what I probably should have done? I probably should have like asked ahead of time in my community tab, and then we could have gone through it. But do you guys have anything else to add to anything that was talked about today?
My question is, Monica and Taylor, how have your birthdays been so far?
Yes.
It's been really good.
It's been good. Yeah.
It's been really good. I think that like this is the perfect way to like end the day, just talking with you guys.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. I have Taco Bell right next to me. I didn't want to eat it while I was.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, while I was on camera, I didn't want to eat it, but like I'm gonna eat that in a little bit. But yeah.
That's something. Sorry.
I'm trying.
Well, I have leftover meatloaf, so be jealous.
Oh, meatloaf is so good, though. I love meatloaf.
Today I decided that today starts making soups for the fall. Like I'm gonna be making soups. So I bought a bunch of ingredients to make soup, and today I made onion soup with baked Gruyere cheese on top.
That sounds good.
You know what's really good? Beef
Yeah.
barley soup. I have a
Yeah.
really good recipe if anyone wants it.
I don't think I've tried that
I
yet.
think we're
Oh
also
my gosh,
going to
it's so
make
good.
shepherd's pie. We've been
Ooh,
making
that's
shepherd's
good.
pie lately, and it's been good. So probably make that.
Can I just add something from the comments?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to hijack, but there's
No.
a viewer, GDGM. She posted that about Amway that and there's like overeating. My fiance just got home, but she had posted something. She says, "I didn't think Amway was that bad until I heard the audios from anti-MLM YouTuber Sarah Girl. You girls might want to check her videos out. Savvy, she lives close to you." And I do want to acknowledge that I actually am subscribed to Sarah Girl, and she really does put out some really
don't
good.
think I know her channel. What's her name?
Yeah, I haven't heard of her.
I'm going to look her up right now.
SARAH Girl. She was in Amway, and she's got a lot of trauma associated with her experiences in them. So I actually enjoy her content. I just wanted to share that because somebody put it out there.
Okay, I'm going to start adding all of her videos to my watch later playlist so that I can watch them.
Oh yeah, someone shared her. I recognize her her picture. Someone shared her.
Every once in a while I get like her recommended in my comments, and I just want people to know that I am subscribed to her. I do watch her. So she's
Yeah, I saw someone share her thing like not I want to say like a few weeks ago or something like that in the group. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, to anyone watching this, if you requested to join the Facebook group, I'm so sorry that we haven't accepted you yet, but
it's her birthday.
Yeah. But I'm late, but I want to know Monica's favorite Polish dish. My mom's pierogi.
Yes.
That's number one. Second, well, actually, okay, no. My grandma's pierogi before my mom's, and then my mom's pierogi. And then I do also love bigos, rasu, which is chicken noodle soup.
I love that these have really good like sounding names, whereas I'm just like macaroni.
My mom came by to my house and brought me a pierogi casserole for the weekend that she had baked. Like she baked this casserole in like she had potato cheese pierogi and baked it in like chicken broth with bacon bits and put farmer's cheese on top, and then drove it over to my house this weekend, and we introduced Chewy to my parents' new dog Kasha, who's named after my grandma.
Yeah,
so they were like, we made this for you guys. So
was your grandma's name Katarzyna by any chance?
No, it was like her American name was Catherine, and then
okay.
she went by Kasha because she had, she was Polish, but she lived in Chicago, so her it was like Catherine or Kasha, either one.
Because my one cousin, that was her name, and it's Kasha for short, and that's why I was asking. So I was wondering.
Yeah,
but that's a cute name though.
Yeah, Monica and I are probably related. We'll find out at some point that we were blood related the whole time.
I swever we're long lost sisters.
I think we are. Yeah, I think so.
We definitely are.
There's a connection.
Yeah, and then whenever we finally meet in real life, we should have our moms there too, so that we could have like a pierogi bake off.
Oh yeah.
cook off.
I feel like our moms would be friends, just from what I've seen on the internet. I'm like, our moms would be friends.
I think so too. It's the Polish.
Yeah. Polish moms just all have a connection.
Oh my god, and grandmas too.
Grandmas, yeah.
I remember I went to Chicago once for a business trip when I worked like corporate, and I took my coworker, and like these people were used to going to like super fancy restaurants. So like we went to a fancy restaurant where it was like one of the things that I was eating, it had like squid ink in it and stuff.
Oh,
so like
that's let's say it's like weird fancy.
Yeah. So that's like super fancy. And so I told him, I was like, well, we're in Chicago, so we have to eat Polish food somewhere in Chicago.
Yes.
And I found this place that was like this little hole in the wall. And we walk in, and he was like weirded out by it. And then I see like these two old ladies. They looked like little babcias, and that's grandma in Polish, if anyone doesn't know. And so he looked at me, he's like, this place is going to be really gross. And I'm like, no. These are grandmas. This place is going to be amazing.
Yes.
And it definitely was.
Well,
It
you
was
need to
so
come to
good.
Chicago again. I wish I knew you when you were in Chicago last time.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really long time. And of course we went like in the dead of winter. Oh, it was
yeah.
cold.
It's cold here.
It was
right now it's
so
perfect.
cold.
Chicago fall weather is so beautiful.
It was terrible. It was like below. My brother lived in Chicago, and he told me that there was a point in time where like he would refuse to drive his car because he didn't want to get out and pump his gas because it was that cold.
Yeah, well, this past winter, it like a year ago, it was negative 20 degrees a couple days, and like they had to like close schools, not even for snow, just because like it was too cold for people to go outside, and like it was recommended that you couldn't walk your dog for more than 4 minutes at a time because their paws would get frostbite.
Yeah.
So I would take Chewy out for like yeah, she's like no, I don't want frostbite. Don't take me to Chicago, Mom.
She's like, no, thank you.
Sorry about that.
I really
It's like, yeah, when I was on a writing live stream once, someone asked me if there were any pet characters in this book I was working on, and I said no, and then Chewy went crazy barking in the background. He was mad. He was like, add a dog into this book, please.
I wanted to say Miss Lola Liz, she said Wszystkiego najlepszego, which is happy. Well, I guess that you can kind of use it for happy birthday. It's kind of like you could use it for multiple things. So I just want to say dziękuję because it said it in Polish.
I'm jealous that I can't speak Polish. I never learned it.
Yeah.
No one taught it to me.
It was my first language, but now as I've gotten older and now that I'm not around, like I'm not in a Polish community, whereas when we were in Jersey, like I had my parents all the time. I talked to them in Polish and we did have like a Polish community. And like now I'm noticing that I'm starting to kind of lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like I forget how to write something out or I forget the proper term for it. So yeah, it's starting to get harder for me, but I actually didn't speak English until I started school. So
oh, that's interesting.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah. I only know very few Polish words. Like I know food names, and I have a pair of like I went to a pierogi fest in Indiana, and I got some shorts that say "dupa" across the butt.
You want to? Okay, so really funny. I have to tell you this story. Sorry, Joseph, I'm gonna be embarrassing you. So there's this one thing that I used to always say to Lily and Zero, and like it's not okay. It's not. You're not really supposed to say it, but dawaj dupska. And if you translate it into Polish, I guess the literal translation would be like "give me your butt" kind of a thing. But whenever I would say it to them, it was kind of like to hype them up. So like if I gave them a treat or something, and then like I would say that, so they would like run away all excited. And Joe didn't know what it meant, so he actually said it to my mom.
Oh no.
I was like, you don't know what that means to you? And he's like, no, it's just you say it all the time. So I don't think he remembers that. I think he passed out on the couch. Oh no, you're awake. Okay. But yeah, so that was really funny.
How did your mom respond to that?
She kind of figured that he didn't know what he was saying because of the way that he said it. But there's been times where like, okay, another word. So like umbrella in Polish is parasolka. And that's the I guess not the proper way, but I guess kind of. And so when I took him to Poland with me, because that's actually where he proposed to me, when I took him to Poland with me, he just started listening to our conversations and he would say random Polish words. So, but like certain words, he did a really good job pronouncing them. But yeah, it was just, it's a hard language to learn when you're older, I would say.
I think a lot of languages are hard to learn when you're older if you're not.
I still have an accent. When I speak Polish now, I have a very, very thick American accent when I speak Polish now. When I was younger, you would never know the difference, but the way that I pronounce all of my words and stuff, it's very American. So whenever I go there, I have to like be careful with, like, I know that if I go to like some of the markets and stuff, at least I know where I am, but I have to like, I kind of keep my Polish to a minimum so that people don't know that I'm like a tourist. But I mean, you can usually tell when someone, especially like, even though I grew up Polish, I just have American mannerisms. So it's like, you can still tell, but so
I think
yeah.
it's hard to like keep that too when you're not in an environment where people are like speaking that language a lot. Cause like for me, I used to speak like, I wouldn't say like fluently, but I used to conversationally, I guess, speak Indonesian because that's where I grew up. But now that I've lived back in the US for the last 8 years, it's like completely gone away. And it's just because I'm not surrounded by it all the time. And so you just naturally lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's sad because like I don't want to lose it, but I have nobody to talk to besides my parents, and like I don't talk to my parents every day. So yeah, that's the only part that sucks about it. But that's why sometimes I'll purposely read something in Polish to kind of keep my mind going. But I see a fight going on.
Yeah, okay,
pizza.
don't start the pizza fight because Monica and I are on opposite sides of this fight.
New York
pizza. I will accept here. I have come to accept that thin crust and deep dish pizza are just two different foods, and that's
yes, they are.
They're just like you can like them both for different reasons. They're just two different foods.
Yeah.
Okay, but here I'm gonna put myself into this like two-way fight by making it a three-way fight. How do you guys feel about gluten-free crust pizza?
I don't think I've ever had it.
I've had it before because Drew used to eat gluten-free, and it's okay. I don't understand like the cauliflower crust because a lot of restaurants, they'll like say that, oh, we have gluten-free crust, but it's actually just cauliflower crust, which is like, that's not really the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, I just was like,
I've tried making
throw myself in your guys' fight.
I've tried making pizza crust with almond flour before, and for a homemade pizza, it's not bad.
Yeah. As long as they don't like undercook it or overcook it, it can be good.
I made one when I was doing keto a couple of years back. I made one that had, is it cauliflower crust? I can't remember. But yeah, I made one and it wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't real pizza.
Jess MUA doesn't think pineapple goes on pizza. Thoughts?
I disagree.
I disagree.
I disagree with that.
I like
love pineapple on
pepperoni
pizza.
and mushroom.
Okay. Raise your hand if pineapple belongs on pizza.
No.
Me and Monica.
It does not. Pineapple belongs on a lot of things, guys. I love pineapple, but it does not go on pizza.
Okay,
I don't mind it, except it's always paired with ham, and I'm the type of person that doesn't eat the ham, so I won't eat the pizza that has ham on it.
I eat vegan, so I like don't put any meat on my pizza, but I still like pineapple. Like I like pineapple and veggies. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I'm getting some messages from my boss, and I got some work to finish up before tomorrow morning. So happy birthday, Monica and Taylor. Thank you so much for having me on your stream. I had so much fun here. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks everyone for being in the comments. It was good to see y'all.
Okay,
bye.
Chat with you in live, Savy. Oh, that was nice.
All right. I think we're good because I need to eat. I'm really hungry and I still want my ice cream cake. So
yeah, it's like 9:30 over there, right?
Yeah, but I need to have my ice cream cake.
Well, I'm saying, like, get off the internet so you can have it.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for everyone for being in the chat. Thank you so much for you guys for being here too with me. And yeah, I hope you also have a really good birthday, Taylor, for the remaining of our birthdays.
You. You too. Yeah.
Happy birthday to both of you, by the way.
Thank you.
And thanks for inviting me to this live with you.
Yeah.
I'm super honored.
Yeah, this was so fun.
Yeah.
We need to like do this more.
Yes, I'm totally down.
I have a birthday in December, but I've never done a live on my channel before, so I don't know if people want to come to it. I guess I can promo it starting early.
Yeah,
I'm down.
It'll be fun.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you for joining me.
Bye.
Bye.